rock and roll. I got analog blood and a beta soul. Neon Lord with the glug jug handy. Tonight's the night for raviolis for Randy. Raviolis, raviolis for Randy. Raviolis, raviolis for Randy. Mac and me, Munchie and Mandy. Raviolis, raviolis for Randy. Raviolis for Randy tonight.
Filmed in glorious marinara vision, ripped from the pages of the Pastanomicon, it is Ravioli for Randy. Episode 10, Thanksgiving in June, Joey. We brought the Neon Maniacs to pass around some food and tell some stories about their favorite movies. And, I thought about something on my way into the old dungeon today. Why don't we have them talk about their favorite Ravioli for Randy scenes or their favorite moments of the show, like a flashback episode.
Sure, shower us with compliments, gentlemen. That's why you're here.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I didn't mean it like that, but sure. So,
ciao, paisans. Thanks for sticking around for 10. Can you believe that, Neon Lord? 10 episodes.
Can't believe it.
Saturday nights. That's the way to spend them. Forget about going out and meeting people. This is where it's at.
You ever watch Newsies, the Disney movie?
Oh, did I ever watch it? I was an extra.
Were you?
That's how I started out.
Who were you?
I was Kid Cartwheel.
Okay, so like seize the day. Oh, you weren't in.
I wasn't doing.
Well, you just ruined it.
I was extra in Hook. I was one of the Lost Boys.
Okay, I could see that. So,
let's introduce the gentlemen.
Yeah.
They showed up tonight. Guys, how you doing?
Good.
Got the Neon Maniacs in the house. Let's go around the table and tell who you are. Jared first. I'm just gonna go clockwise,
Sure.
clockwise, I guess.
I'm Jared. I do miscellaneous tabletop RPG stuff. Have an itch site that I posted on, and that's about it. Into
Go
the
buy
movies
stuff.
and the music and art and all that good nerdy stuff.
The hoop diddy hooplas.
Yeah.
And then we
I
got.
like to say I like Jared's style of music very, very much.
Yeah, he definitely has some good music.
It's all
Thanks, I
your
appreciate that.
weirdo stuff.
All the weirdo stuff. And I love the beautiful Spotify playlist, and I listen to it all the time. So thank you.
Nice.
And,
Jared,
Welcome, I appreciate it.
Buy Cosmic Dust on Itch.
Yep, Cosmic Dust,
Yeah.
definitely.
Somebody bought it. Somebody bought one yesterday.
Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome edition.
Jared, what city are you representing?
I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Amish country.
Yeah, people like to say Lancaster, but we say Lancaster.
Very good.
All right, Garrett, representing the Great White North.
Yeah, so Garrett here from Ottawa, Canada. I am not as talented as the other people on here as far as creating, but I like to participate. You may know me from my portrayals of Vienna Beef, the Cosmic Barbarian, on various Neon Lords streams. And I really, when it comes down to it, I'm just a passionate super fan of both of our hosts' work.
Excellent.
They are it's a lot of fun.
You're selling yourself short. You are one of the greatest role players I've ever rolled dice with, and I'm not being sincere. I enjoy your company at the table. That was my first introduction to Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. I wouldn't trade that in for anything. So good job. You are talented.
I think it's a great game and a great setting, and it attracts a certain kind of people. That's how we've all met each other.
Yeah.
And it's a sensibility, that makes us all get along, have a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, brother. Hanging and banging and rolling dice, brother. And then last but not least, Tony.
Hey, I'm Tony. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. I have a sinus infection at the moment, so I probably sound awful.
It's very romantic.
Thanks. But so
Got the Barry White voice going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of
yeah.
What was that Barry White song? Keep talking. I'll remember it.
But
Oh, I know. I got it. Go ahead.
I'm a writer. I do, just various things. And I'm a professional chef. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's couldn't get enough for your love, baby.
Oh yeah.
there
Very
it
well.
is.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I said, darling,
I
can't
think
get
about
enough
that
for
song
your love,
often,
baby.
weirdly enough.
Oh no! We got Christopher Walken. I'm just trying to fix my microphone. Sorry.
I walked into a classroom the other day, and the kids were watching Sarah Plain and Tall, and Christopher Walken plays the widowed father.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
What
Must have been a very early role.
What show? What was it?
One of the worst children's books of all time, Sarah Plain and Tall.
I'm
It
literally
bored the heck
never
as a
heard of
kid.
it. Never heard of it.
This family, their mother drops dead, so the father orders a wife from a catalog. She shows up, they got the calico bonnets that, that time, the real snoozer. But he plays the father.
So it's like the Waltons.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
That Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
When the United States was dusty and everybody was dropping like flies. You could order new moms in the mail.
The Great Dust Bowl.
It's,
Yeah.
hey, John boy.
All right, let's hit it hard.
So, episode 10, Thanksgiving in June. Nothing like a big old turkey sitting out in the midday sun,
What do
attracting the white flies.
Well, here's the issue though. Like, what does Canada have a Thanksgiving? Let's get down to brass tacks.
This is an awful question for me because holidays are always a surprise to me. It's always like, oh shit, it's whatever tomorrow, so there is a Canadian Thanksgiving. You guys do it in November?
Yep.
Yeah.
So ours is in October. It's a bit before.
What do you call it?
Thanksgiving.
I couldn't think of anything. It's called Thanksgiving. It's exactly the same. It's just ours because it's on a different day. But you know what? Like most things like that, we just get two because we watch football on your guys' Thanksgiving. It's like a double dip holiday.
Double dip in the chip. Okay. So is it like basically the same premise, like the Pilgrims and the Indians, like make a cornucopia, shake hands?
Shake hands, everything's all right. We keep
Yeah,
going.
I think we've adopted sort of a common mythology about sort of how it would have maybe been, and it's in its modern form. It would be families getting together and eating turkey and whatnot. Very similar.
So you do indulge in the turkey and the stuffing and all that stuff.
Yeah, our ice turkeys are a little bit tough, like compared to the southern bird, but it's similar.
Ice turkeys.
It's similar. Yeah.
Is there something like? Is there like? And I'm not going to do Canada jokes all night because like I respect Canada. You guys
Yeah,
doing
just a couple.
But excuse my ignorance. This is not for humor. But like is there like a something traditional that the Canadians eat on Thanksgiving in addition to turkey that we might not be familiar with as your dirty cousins to the south?
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that question, Joey. That's not disrespectful whatsoever. I was
Oh
gonna
no,
ask
I'm
the same.
trying to say
I'm
this
not-
is not a shut up for this. Is not. I'm not doing it's all over the plate.
Hey, I'm not the kind of guy that gets upset about food. Like food is, people have their own different pronunciations or different takes on dishes. Leaning into food tribalism gets us nowhere.
Wow, look at this. Geez, this is the great peacemaker. Come into
True
the.
diplomat.
He's got Henry Kissinger with us tonight. Hey, you know, I learned a lot about potato chips from you. You got all sorts of different potato chips I've never heard about.
Yeah,
Those
I mean,
are-
there's definitely a lot of those are international that I get in. They're not really Canadian per se, but I'm just I'm really into potato chips. It's easy, right? Like there's no winners or losers in eating delicious exotic potato chips. So
Okay, have you had the horse meat flavored potato chips?
is that a real
Yes,
thing?
it's a real thing. You can get horse meat flavored. I would.
So
Well, it looks
is
like
that
you get
like-
a package.
I would happily try that on
from
camera.
what part of the what part of the world are horse meat chips a thing?
So they're not actual like horse meat. They're like, I'll show you. They're like fake flavored to taste gross, like horse meat. And I want to say there's like a bug one they do. I'll
It's
look
like a novelty company kind of thing, like the soda that tastes like gravy.
yeah.
Yeah. I know somebody that just got back from Italy not too long ago, and the restaurant was serving horse carpaccio, the very thinly sliced, not cooked through horse meat.
Yeah, I've had zebra and meh.
Zebra.
Yeah,
Where were you when you had zebra?
in Germany.
Jeez,
Eh.
not even native.
I don't necessarily recommend zebra. If zebra and horse are cousins, I mean, essentially a zebra's a striped horse, right? Like, let's be honest.
They're like murder horses.
Yeah. So it was tough.
Yeah, they're
and
total assholes.
it was gross, but kangaroo meat, unbelievable. Highly recommend anything kangaroo.
Very lean.
Oh yeah. So
Jumping around.
GM Mike in the chat said turkey poutine. Well, shit. Sorry, turkey poutine.
Well, yeah, so tell me about that. I saw you post something about you were corrected. I always thought you were always corrected. I'm sorry. You were corrected by Garrett
Well,
about the pronunciation.
I don't necessarily know if he it wasn't a correct, like he didn't like jump down my throat about saying poutine. He just like got very mad, like that look he's got right now. He's like-
Taking a deep breath. He's counting to 10.
yeah, he's
Well, yeah, I mean,
If looks could kill. He would've knocked Brian dead.
You Americans, you guys are trying. And hey, I'm an Anglophone. I'm not French,
We're-
right? Like, so
Yeah.
We're not really trying.
Poutine
that
is
hard.
from like, predominantly French Canada. So I am really just taking a largely foreign word and trying to make it work. But, like I said, I'm going to try to get away from all the politics of the food. I just really, I want to see what you guys have, what you're bringing to the table, and call it whatever you want. If it's delicious, who cares?
Oh boy.
All right,
What a
so Anchor Con when we do. Oh, I gotta talk to you, Joey. So we're setting up. I know, like we made all these plans. So one of the nights we're gonna do an Anchor Con after party at the place with the poutine, and we're gonna see if it stacks to Garrett's exquisite taste buds.
You didn't try it last time?
No, they didn't stick around.
I'm thinking about the other con because you got poutine at the con you just went to, right?
I did. It was like at a concession stand at a hockey rink, so I don't think that's good enough for Garrett for sure.
Yeah, a little far from home for me, but anyways, I'll try not to cause an international incident in August, and let's have a good time.
I think you'll be all right. I mean, how can you really mess up French fries, cheese curd, and gravy? Like,
You'd probably be surprised.
Ryan, that's like saying, how do you mess up a pizza? And we all know there are some garbage pies out there. It's not just dough and sauce and cheese here, fellas.
all right, fair enough.
You're falling into a trap. See, I wasn't going to get upset. We should maybe move away from the whole
The beef.
Yeah.
go
All
back
right.
to potato chips and leave the poutine where it is.
Oh boy.
Is it the whole episode about food though?
Yeah, it is about food.
I mean, and movies.
Yeah. Food. So, in true Neon Lord fashion, I got a D6. So, we're gonna decide who goes first.
Okay.
5 of
So-
us.
Well, there's 3 of you. Me and Joey are the hosts.
Okay. I
You
got
are
you,
the
I got you.
guests. Everyone
You don't have
knows our
favorite
favorite.
movies?
We've already done our favorite movies. If you've watched the show, you would know what my favorite movie is. Wow, cool.
T2, right?
No. Oh, you know what? I think I might have been a tie with T2 Dawn. You might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're halfway there. All right. So Jared 1-2, Garrett 3-4, Tony 5-6. 6. Tony's first.
Tony's up.
All right. So movie of choice. Let's talk about the movie and bring beans and cornbread. Had a fight, not cornbread, out of sight. You know what I'm talking about, Joey?
I know what you're talking about.
Dinner and a movie.
I used to watch that with my mom like every weekend.
Yeah, dinner and movie was good.
Yeah.
USA, man, USA. Those networks, they knocked it out of the park with those
They-
Yeah.
Monster
Definitely.
Vision.
TNT, right? TNT had the Monster Vision.
Yeah, but
USA.
isn't TNT USA like aren't they under the same?
No,
banner?
TNT and TBS. Those were Ted Turner stations.
So then,
And
okay,
then,
okay.
USA was its own thing. But you're right, though. Every Saturday night, you had it's Monster Vision, and then USA up all night with ranging from, you don't know who you'd be messing with. Linnea Quigley. You could be, rest in
Rhonda
peace.
Shear,
Rhonda Shear.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Of course, rest in peace, man. G. Gilbert, poor guy. But yeah, that was nice. Even if you came home late, you could put that on and freak out.
Yep. Yeah.
So Tony,
Yeah.
I'm stepping on your toes here.
You're fine.
What's the movie you're bringing tonight, and what are you going to pair it with?
So my absolute favorite movie, I've watched it several dozen times, which for me, that's actually saying something because I don't watch movies too often because I just don't have the patience. But I've seen it dozens of times and I've loved every second of it every time I watched it. But the 1982 The Thing.
Oh, nice, John Carpenter.
Yep.
Yes, just
Hey.
an extra amazing movie.
He was born in the town I live in now, Carthage, New York, Joey.
I remember you saying that not too long ago. Did you just find that out?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very exciting.
So what is
stuff.
it about The Thing that draws you to it?
So I love horror movies, like especially like older horror movies. Just something about it just really, I don't know, just has this like sort of nostalgic, like visceral feeling for me.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, a fair amount of modern horror is not half bad, but there's just something about that older horror, like Aliens and The Thing, and like, I don't know, Friday the 13th and all that. Like, just something about it just felt better. Like, I actually watched a thing about like, is it the practical effects? Like, does that make it feel real? No, they look awful, but in the grand scheme of things, it just felt better. It had like, there was just like this good vibe. I don't know. It's extremely difficult to like quantify.
It's a lot has to do, I'm sure, with 35 millimeter versus digital cameras.
Yep. The
So,
graininess of it, the lighting effects. This movie has a lot of boxes to check. You got the graininess of the film stock being used. You got the lighting. You got the setting being an area of desolation. You got sick actors.
Yeah,
They just
that was like an
nail it.
all-star cast.
And then you never know where it's lurking. It's comparable to Alien. It's a similar kind of setup you got going there. And then Carpenter with that's why I love John Carpenter so much, man. He'll do the writing, he'll do the directing, and then he throws the music on top of it. That's him tickling the ivories. I love that.
Do you know?
Like,
do you know what his screenwriting pseudonym is? Off the top of your head,
Is Gnome de Plume? No,
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll look it up. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I know it is from H.P. Lovecraft.
I mean, that would make sense.
The effects in that, I mean, say what you want about them now, but I think at the time they were pretty amazing.
Like, what's really weird, the movie when it first got released, failed hardcore. Like, a lot of people left feeling really like just kind of confused and like, I don't get it. And it got like torn apart, like as far as
Well, I mean,
reviews from like reviewers like Siskel and Ebert and all that.
well, yeah, because they were expecting, because there's a remake of The Thing from the 50s.
Yeah.
So, like, I think they weren't expecting what they got with the body horror.
Right. Like, because apparently a lot of the reviews, people were like, it's just violence for the sake of violence. It's like, well, not really, but okay, fine.
I
never
can't find it now.
I've never been creeped out by CGI effects. So The Thing and all the movies around that era, particularly in the early 80s, and I don't think it's just my age, like when I was first exposed to them and being young, but there's something to be said about practical effects. We've talked about this before with Evil Dead and all that.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to be disrespectful in saying this, like the chintziness of it really adds to it. I mean, that's why Evil Dead, I think, is one of the scariest movies, even though it's funny. Like, it's creepy. Once again, like The Thing, the quality of the film being used, the desolation, and the practical effects all add to it.
Here's I got a burning question, but go ahead, Tony.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, because the practical effects that they used for The Thing, like you said, yeah, it was kind of cheesy, but just how all of it just, all of it put together and becoming its like, the separate parts and then the combining parts and everything, it was such a like completely unique design and shape that it was like just horrifying, like as cheesy as like people could say it is, but it's like, but whenever the dog is transforming, like at the beginning of the movie, that is like, I watched that like a couple times today just so I could like, refresh it. And I was like, God, this is like the best transformation scene in like all of cinema.
I don't know.
It's
maybe
horrifying.
it's up there. American Werewolf in London.
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
That's like that's the gold standard. Now Garrett's like, what are these guys talking about? But here's the big question: you got your big early '80s, 50 sci-fi remakes. Which is better, The Thing or The Blob?
You got two things going on here.
Somebody got excited.
Things. You got The Thing is a cinema classic. You know, that's like on everybody's big list. You rarely hear about The Blob. But The Blob, oh man, I don't know. You know how I feel about The Blob.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think those are two different things. That's like, do you want a bag of Skittles or do you want a Hershey bar? It's like chocolate versus fruit.
But are you one of the guys who takes the Skittles and the Reese's and mixes them together?
If I'm stressed out enough,
Like
that's what I do. I hoard food and I look like a chipmunk. I'll have chocolate on one side. Look what I can do. You ever see this?
Oh, it's like Brazil.
Yeah. These are good. These are candy bags. This is the chocolate side and this is the fruit side.
But no, I don't necessarily it's not really apples to oranges though. I think they're really in the same wheelhouse, I think, for sure. Yeah, you're gonna want both. It's like, you want chicken parm, you want veal parm. It's on the same side of the menu, and they all I mean, this was a thing. That's why we're talking about it. The Thing came out, the Blob came out. There was a couple other movies around that time that tried to capture that. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They'll eat you up for dinner and lunch. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I'm surprised. You know what? I think this is the first time Attack of the Killer Tomatoes have ever come up on a Raviolis for Randy. I'm very surprised. It's shocked. On my tongue. It's always on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, it's one, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space too. Well, I mean, we talked about that, but it's the same thing. You're right. It's all part of the same fairground. Mm-hmm. It's all there. So what the hell are you going to pair with The Thing? What do you want? What? Oh, let's talk about food and body horror.
There's got to be eggplant somewhere in here.
Borscht.
Oh, I mean, I would definitely wouldn't be against like a good eggplant parmesan with The Thing, just because I love eggplant parmesan.
shaking his head.
Don't make me threaten an Olive Garden twice in 1 week.
That's a vegetable.
He's got, ladies and gentlemen, if you smell smoke, smell his hands. I mean, they
I
smell
know
like
exactly how you feel, Brian. I know exactly how you feel.
Like, I mean, I've already committed one Italian food sin by saying I like broccoli on my pizza. So eggplant parmesan.
That's
is
not
like
even.
the
That's just.
number two.
That's not even an Italian thing. That's just humanity. Who puts broccoli on pizza and not from California?
I love broccoli.
Said
So
no
what's
one
the food?
ever.
What are you gonna eat with the
Oh.
thing?
So the food, I can almost guarantee, like, over 50% of the time I've watched that movie, I have had a big plate covered in bratwurst, sauerkraut, spicy mustard, well, horseradish mustard specifically,
That's good
and
stuff.
just pigging down on it. Like,
Horseradish mustard, I love it.
Yeah.
Horseradish mustard, I had it like for the first time 2 years ago, and now that is a go-to anytime we grill.
So
I've had it since I was a kid. It is a staple in my life.
when you go to Arby's, well, when you were eating meat,
Yeah.
and you would get a beef and cheddar, would you put horsey sauce on it?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I did not as a kid. I didn't touch this as a kid. And
No.
I really went to Arby's, to tell you the truth. I wasn't a fan of Arby's. We had a sit-down Arby's at the mall,
Mm-hmm.
like when it first opened,
Yeah,
82,
same.
80. And I only used to go there for the toys. They
Or
had the little Mr. and Little Miss. You remember the little books? Like the little books, and they're like, Mr. Bump, and he's wrapped in bandages.
Yeah.
Remember those? They
Mm-mm.
used to sell. You don't know what I'm talking about, Neon Lord?
No,
Come
I
on.
do.
The little white books.
you're too old. I don't know. Let me look it up.
I'm too old. I'm like 2 years older than too old.
Well, I mean, this is the guy who we talk about action figures, and he brings the $6 million man or whatever. We're like, oh my.
I had older cousins, and I told you I used to get up early to watch the old shows.
All right, what's the name of
You're
this?
the old guy here. I say move my walker out of the way.
What are the names of the books?
Little Mister Hargreave was the guy's last name, I think.
I bet you. All right, let's see. Little Mister, Mr. Men, Little Mister. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, careful what you're googling.
Oh
Look-
yeah,
look-
yeah. I know what you're talking about. These things.
Yeah, there you go. Arby's. They had a run of the PVC figurines. Collect them all. I did. I got sick of roast beef for a while after.
So, was the Arby's in your mall still there when you were in high school?
This is why I love these conversations. Talk about Bristol Mall in Waterford, Connecticut. Almost rest in peace, because now it's nothing but eyebrow threading. You can buy, and there's a sword store, a vintage toy store, and a dying everything else. They just shut down the Sears, so we got no anchor stores left. I digress. The Arby's was still around in high school. However, I graduated in '97. However, at that time, it had moved from a sit-down place to
Counter service.
Yeah.
But when it was a sit-down place, was there smoking? Was there a smoking section?
We were talking about this not too long ago about smoking in the mall. And I remember vividly the garbage cans having the smoking thing on it too. The white crystal sand. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It always
Yep,
looked nice
absolutely.
with the butt stick. They made smoke classy.
That's like contemporary art right there.
Oh, it's beautiful. You have like one of those with like a Nagel painting on the wall, the ladies with the haircuts. Beautiful. Anyways, I don't remember people smoking in the restaurants. We had a couple of sit-down places. We had Roman Delight, beautiful pizza place. We had a sit-down Arby's. We had a place called Newport Creamery, which is local to the Northeast. There's still one in Rhode Island. That was they had the counter. It was almost like a diner with ice cream. And then we had a beautiful sit-down Burger King. Very classy joint. And then we had a Charlie's. Yep, chef's kiss, Jared. You're right. Charlie's was not a chain. Charlie's, and now this is something I was going to talk to you about, Neon Lord, too, because all of you might appreciate this. But there was a time, I see the smirk. Charlie's, I didn't know at the time, but there was a movement in the mid to late 70s where there was these restaurants called, what were they called? They were called like something like Palm Bars or something like that. They were like singles. The places for singles, for like you get out of the office, you go to these places, and they were known for their Tiffany lamps. Oh, fern bars. They had like the Tiffany lamps, the low lighting, and big ferns. They had ferns all over the place.
Yeah.
That
And
sounds
you
familiar
have
to
a
me.
little Harvey wall banger after working at the Radio Shack, but they were famous for their chowder bowls. You get New England clam chowder in a bread bowl. And like if you last day of school or you did good on your report card, that was the fancy place to go, Charlie's. So there you go. A little peek into the time at the Crystal Mall in Waterford on its way out, on its last heartbeats.
Mind you, I asked him if he ate at Arby's as a kid. And that's what came from that question.
I didn't know the fern places were a thing, but I can totally see it.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Like I feel like I've been in one or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where I didn't know it was a thing, but it was a motif that existed that you didn't know existed.
Exactly. It was one of those things in the 80s. A lot of those things in the 80s were based upon things that were carryovers from the 70s. I brought this up before. Did any of you had a pipe organ pizza place around you?
I think that's a New England thing, honestly, because I've been to
Oh,
pipe.
it's a Midwest thing. It's a
Is it?
Midwest thing that's spread out. Like there's still a place somewhere in the Midwest. I looked it up the other day. It's giant. It's like a giant evangelical church, it looks like, with a giant pipe organ and tons of families eating pizza. Those things are still going on.
The only place I've ever seen them was like Connecticut.
Where? Where?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to look at the map.
Because the only place I know of that was in Connecticut is the place in Groton. And this guy, I don't know if you guys know this, he's been to my hometown, unbeknownst to me. But before we met, maybe imagine if we crossed paths back in the day.
Maybe.
Watch where you're going, buddy.
I mean, everybody knows New London is a grinder and pizza town anyway.
And Groton is the nuclear submarine capital of the world.
It is.
And but yeah, we had pizza pipes and pandemonium. It was beautiful. They had a pipe organ. They had beautiful pizza and an arcade with black lights. Wonderful.
What do you mean by nuclear submarine capital of the world?
It's
where they make
sub base.
we had a sub base. That's where they make all the nuclear subs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
The
yeah.
Seawolf.
Navy submarines are powered by nuclear power.
Yep.
Yeah, ours are all diesel, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just see little puffs of black smoke coming out in the ocean.
Yeah, that's how you know where the Canadian Navy is.
Follow the smoke. Follow the trail of maple syrup. Oh, what is the first one of the night? All right, Tony is eating bratwurst,
And watching John Carpenter's thing.
smearing mustard all over those.
Scott Thulu in the chat said they used to have one in Indianapolis.
Oh, thank you, Scott. There you go. They started out there. Look, there's a bunch of articles online about it, and there's even records. I've been trying to find records, like Bobby
Like
Schmidt.
vinyl records.
Yeah, vinyl records playing the pizza polka. Like regional guys did that. Like there's the guys that did that for a living. Like, what do you do? Oh, I'm the organist at the pizza place.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like the
you
Piano
do
Man.
well. Yeah.
So yeah, in chat, hit us with your movie, your favorite movie, and a dish to pass that you watch watching that movie. Bratwurst, sauerkraut, horsey mustard.
What do you wash that down with, Tone?
Yeah, that's good.
What's good with the bratwurst?
9 times out of 10, it would just be like a nice lager beer. But for the most part, if I don't have that available, I mean, I just mostly drink water. Like I basically drink 2 things: water and beer.
There you go.
You know what goes good with a bratwurst?
Mm.
A Spätzle.
Betsy.
A Spätzle is a German soda brand that is cola and orange mix.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
very nice.
There's a lot of really good for some reason, I guess since beer is such a big part of German culture, like basically name a soda, they mix it with beer,
Yeah.
and like some of them are amazing.
Cola Weissen is not bad. They mix beer and cola.
Yeah. It's called a Rottler, where it's where you use like
lemonade and beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that one is just. I fell in love with that.
But Joey, Spezi is the original brand. Mezzo Mix is the Coke version.
Okay.
And Schwip Schwap is the Pepsi version.
All right. Schwip Schwap.
I actually have a can of Mezzo Mix floating around the house somewhere.
That sounds very good. I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna see if I can get it off the truck.
If you can't,
Let's
they sell it in Wegmans, like a grocery store chain here. I'll snag you some so you can try it.
You guys familiar with the mystery soda machine?
Mm-mm.
Like the urban legend one?
Yeah.
More or less.
Here you go. So I heard about this a couple weeks ago on the That Would Be Rad podcast. I forget where it is. I'm sure somebody will look it up. But in a town, there was a soda machine out in front of this deli. Well, no, it was out in front of a locksmith, I think. And there was a question mark button. And like this is relatively recently. If you press, like, so they had all the regular stuff, but if you press the question mark, you'd end up with sometimes Hubba Bubba soda from like the 80s, or like rare Mountain Dews that only came out in Europe, and nobody could figure out who was doing this. Nobody knew who owned it.
Somebody had a key.
What is it?
Well, I'm just saying somebody had a key to the machine and was just.
Yeah. So this is the thing. It was hooked up to the power. Like they did some detective work here. It was hooked up to the outside power in front of the locksmith shop, and so somebody owned the machine, and they were filling it up with all this rare stuff. And I don't think anybody ever found out who it was. It recently disappeared, and it was found elsewhere, still operating in relative distance to the neighborhood where it originally stood. But they couldn't figure it out. And these were very strange, rare sodas from around the world.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've heard that story before. I'm like, I would love to find it.
Well, there's some articles online that will pinpoint the new one where it exists still.
Oh, cool.
Nothing hits harder than an Italian Coke.
I've never had an Italian Coke.
Oh my God.
Mexican Cokes are their own. They're delicious.
That's piss water compared to an Italian Coke. I'm telling you that it's different. It's the best.
A McDonald's Coke is a shaky stick at. McDonald's Coke.
Better than that.
I bet it is, but you got to give McDonald's Coke its due.
Well, it's because they get the special syrup. I think we probably talked about it. It's a special blend that they get, a proprietary blend that only McDonald's gets.
Beautiful. All right, so Tony's eating bratwurst and watching the thing and throwing up all over the place with the dog splitting apart and running around like a nut.
All right,
love it.
We'll go 1, 2, 3, Jared, 4, 5, 6, Garrett.
But we covered a lot of ground already.
1, Jared, what you got for your movie?
Well, first of all, that last bit of the conversation reminded me of that meme, the alien and Italian. I stressed over this a little bit because I was like, it has to be a horror movie.
No, not necessarily.
It has to be this or that or whatever. But my heart keeps going back to the same thing, and that is The Big Lebowski.
Nothing wrong with that.
Wonderful.
Rugg really brought the room together.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, so many one-liners. The humor's right up my alley. The underlying like Zen philosophy of it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I could see you picking.
Yeah,
in your top 5 for sure.
Yeah, it's something I have watched and will continue to watch over and over again.
Gary, you familiar with The Big Lebowski?
I love that movie. Yeah, it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
It's it's just a hilarious film, right? Like,
yeah,
and it can be enjoyed. It's not you can watch that movie every year if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And you'd get enjoyment out of it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It would be akin to those films that you see at Christmas time, whatever, every year. It's sort of that same sort of feeling.
I agree.
It's very familiar, but it's very rich.
The rewatch value of that movie is never ending. I'll never get tired of that movie because there's so many angles. You know, that's an exercise and that's a master class in screenwriting right there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Absolutely. Highly recommend. It's a great movie. It encapsulates the 90s too. It's got that 90s look. It's that post Pulp Fiction 90s look.
Well put.
I meet a lot of people that ask me what my favorite movie is, and when I tell them, they either love it or they have never heard of it, or they've seen like part of it and didn't get it. Those are the three people I run into.
It's got a lot of parallels with Fear and Loathing to me too. I feel it's got that same look.
I can see that, and that would probably be a runner-up for me, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Repopularized the White Russian.
Yep. I've actually, like, back in my drinking days, that was my drink of choice from that movie. I would only drink White Russians.
Well, I've done the same thing, and I think that movie is responsible for more White Russians being made than any other thing ever that has referenced that drink, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a rare thing to get a film that pushes something very specific like that really isn't, like, it's not a staple drink, right? Like, if you go downtown tonight to the bar, they're not cranking out White Russians, right? Like, that's a very niche beverage choice, right?
Yeah.
And that movie has been responsible for so much consumption of White Russians, just garbage trucks full of White Russians.
So what's your
garbage trucks full of diarrhea? Probably. Yeah.
Beef, what's your go-to bar drink? Like if you gotta order a drink, you can't get a beer, you know, like it's gotta be
cocktail.
Yeah, cocktail. Thank you.
So I can't order a beer. I feel like this is a major aside here, but I keep it pretty simple. Not really a cocktail guy. I'm an Irish whiskey or bourbon drinker, just sort of straight up to sip on if that's what I'm doing, or for partying, then I'm shooting Irish whiskey.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that. That's an acceptable answer.
Little bruschetta.
I definitely went through a White Russian phase when I discovered that movie. I watched it I discovered it I didn't see it in theaters or anything like that. I sort of discovered it later on.
Yeah.
And
same here.
What year did that come out?
A 90, I would say I'm going to go 96. I don't know if that's anywhere near right, but I'm going to look it up.
I would say earlier.
Sounds right.
98.
Really?
Oh, really?
Shit.
Really? Well, I remember seeing it in college, and I went to school in the Bronx, and I really played Russian roulette with my life, ordering White Russians at the bars that I was going to. Because first of all, not too many bars keep fresh milk or fresh cream on hand.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
yeah.
Maybe a restaurant, but not a bar. And when I became a bartender, I mean, I never order like a screwdriver like that. You know, the juice is going to be rancid. They're not like, oh, we got to freshen up the juice. We got everybody coming, let alone milk.
Right.
And Matt, just stupid stuff. Going out and chugging give me my fourth White Russian. And then trying to make it home.
Yeah.
Oh, Maron. Where's the closest Barnes and Nobles? I gotta let loose.
How did I become lactose intolerant?
That's the thing. He's lactose intolerant. What's wrong about it? Inspired by that.
Jared, what's your go-to cocktail?
Good question.
Well, we know Joey's is martini vodka with onions in it.
Only the onions. Extra onion. Give me extra onions. Cocktail onions. But not even cocktail onions. Whole onion, just the dice side of onion.
Just a half a onion,
half
like
onion.
wedged onto the glass.
Squeezing it in.
Yeah.
Crying.
You can
Yes,
stick a
the-
little cocktail sword through it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The obvious choice is rum and coke, but
Coke.
we used to drink this stuff called I don't know if this is official or if this is just what my friends and I call it, but we call it snake bite.
I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
And it's just Yukon Jack and lime juice.
Yeah.
That's it.
You
Yeah,
ever,
that-
Yep.
that's a
Stuff.
shot.
what do you call the shot where they take the mat and then like where all the liquors mix and they take the mat and they pour it in a cup?
Oh.
What's that called?
Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard it like LA water.
Yeah,
there's
I was just saying New Jersey iced tea.
Oh yeah, New Jersey iced tea is perfect.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think I've heard it called an LA water before.
Neon Lord, what's your cocktail of choice?
Well, see, as I don't drink, but when I did, 7 and 7.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. That's a great one right there. I love 7 and 7s. I don't drink
Classic.
anymore either. July will be 2 years dry. But when I did drink 7 and 7s, beautiful way to start off a night.
Absolutely.
There you go. You get it in a nice tall rocks glass. Very gentleman-like.
But
Yeah,
then,
7 and 7s classic.
but then,
I,
go
I
ahead.
feel like maybe we have a different name. What is that?
It's
Sorry,
a
I'm blank.
Seagram 7 and 7 Up.
Okay, yeah,
It's a whiskey and ginger.
right.
Pretty much.
I don't know if this is a regional thing or just my family thing, but growing up, when I would go visit my grandparents' dairy farm in upstate Pennsylvania, we would drink
As opposed to downstate Pennsylvania.
South Central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, West Philadelphia.
Yeah. They drank Mountain Dew and orange juice mixed together.
With no alcohol.
Yeah, no alcohol.
That's their chase.
Well, because like Mountain Dew
I
is
just drink
the,
that like all day long.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to try it now.
It's good.
Yeah, I bet that's good. What else were you gonna say, Brian? What else?
Well, I was gonna say, and then I went to Prague, and then I had absinthe for the first time.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a
Did
game
they do
changer.
the whole like melting the sugar?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Wormwood.
yeah, with the wormwood in it.
Real stuff. Not the
No.
What, Marilyn Manson had that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, he's got. They actually sell. I saw his absinthe in Prague, and then what was I gonna say about it? Oh,
Hey, buddy,
Hey there.
how you doing, pal? Who's that there, Tony?
Uh-oh. Lost sound.
Oop, okay, sorry. That's
There you
my
go.
son Finn.
How
How
you doing?
Finn?
Yo,
His internet premiere. He didn't feel like sleeping. I'm about to put him back in his bed.
Hey, Finn, what do you like to drink?
Little
Little little Mott's apple juice.
He just figured out straws.
All right, buddy. Here you go. Have a little Mott's. Have a little very fine Capri Suns.
Very fine.
Capri Suns,
Some
Very fine.
very fine. Yep. So yeah, so absinthe, right? So we went to an absinthe bar, and the walls were like breathing. Everything had a green sheen, and the walls were just
yeah, the
like,
Green Fairy, man.
oh, absolutely. Like the walls were like,
Yeah.
like, it was pretty. It was intense.
Have you had it without the sugar?
Yeah.
It's like furniture product.
So I bought a bottle, and then I would drink absinthe pretty heavily. Well, not heavily, but that's what would be my drink of choice. And then I was always like thought I was the cool guy. I would just hit it without the sugar, but it's just like anise, like super anise flavor.
Yeah. Like
That's almost beyond.
It's
My,
not that bad.
I went through many different phases of cocktails that were mine, but the steady themes where I like a 7 and 7, and I loved old fashions and Manhattans. Love them.
What?
The malt fruit and the whiskey, that was great. I loved whiskey. And then I also love tequila. I love very good tequila.
I
Straight.
only ever had really good tequila recently. I used to not be able to drink it because I had a bad experience with cheap tequila.
I think I don't think there's any good experience with bad tequila.
Yeah, how about it?
Do you ever get into the Roy Rogers and the Shirley Temples?
Oh yeah, I remember a place in town had the Incredible Hulk. I don't know what they put in it, but it was green. So my sisters would get the Shirley Temples, and I'd get the Hulk. But oh yeah, I used to love my old. I think it was my sister's wedding. I ended. That's all of the story. It was the old fashions that did me in. It was. I love those things. Old fashions and Manhattans.
How are we even on this subject? Oh, White Russians. All right,
Yeah.
so
Put it up.
I know, Jared. So what's
It's a
the
tangent.
this? This is the tangent show. Like this is what we do. We go on tangents. What food are you bringing with the Big Lebowski? What are you passing? What's the dish to pass?
So it's not a dish; it's a meal.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the basically breakfast at night, and specifically,
Brinner.
specifically a cheese omelet,
Yes.
hash browns, and wheat toast, and 2 strips of bacon.
Interesting.
You're a good man. What kind of cheese you putting in that omelet?
That's a big question.
Probably American.
That's right. That's right, baby.
You don't-
American. Young word's not happening.
You don't moots? You don't put the
Cheddar-
moots
cheddar's
in the omelet?
Cheddar's a close runner-up.
I'm
And
a-
I like feta too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a feta. I'm a feta in the omelet, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
Like
the
a-
holy trinity of omelet cheeses for me. Feta, American, or the moots.
The moots. Gotta have the moots.
When
don't
so when
think I
you
ever
people
had
say
with
when you
mozzarella.
people say American, what are you referring to? You're talking about like
You don't have American cheese up there?
So it's like
well, I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't picture it because
It's like
no Canadian would ever do it. So I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
it's-
get.
it's
I'm
sliced-
trying to
be-
get there.
sliced.
It's got to be bad for you.
sliced. I don't even know what you would call it.
Yeah,
It's a
not.
single.
Yeah.
Land
Yeah.
O'Lakes American, the white is my
Yeah.
favorite.
So-
I like it so much that I ate a 1/4 pound of it as a child, and I had to go to the hospital, and they had to blow it out of me. I'm not joking. My mother
Which way
found
did
me
it? Which way did it
refrigerator.
get blown out?
Huh?
Which way did it have to get blown out?
The back door, buddy. I was in rough shape. I was over in pain. I remember it like it was yesterday because I had just gotten to the NES. And I snuck into the refrigerator when my mother was having a Mary Kay makeup party. And I went to town on a 1/4 pound of Land O'Lakes American cheese. She comes in, she goes, "Oh my God, what is the baby doing?" And it was nearly gone. Next thing you know, I'm doubled over in pain. They had to bring me to the hospital. Luckily, it was right across the street, and they stuck a 1/4 stick of dynamite up me, and they got it out. I was in rough shape.
Between that and the White Russians, I'm surprised you can eat
Boy,
dairy at all ever.
Are you
that's
lactose intolerant?
not anymore. As a kid, I was. As a kid, I wrote a song about it. Check out the Great Gabagool,
Yeah.
my band camp. Intolerant. It's all about that. But yeah, I did a job on my body. I had enough lactose in that to last me through my adolescence. But I don't think somebody can look this up. But my wife swears that American cheese is not actually cheese.
So it is. I'm looking it
Yeah.
up right now.
I
So
can believe that.
it's is processed cheese made by mixing cheddar cheese, washed curd cheese, Colby cheese, and granular cheese.
Granular cheese.
What the hell that is?
So
Granular cheese.
It's cheese at the molecular level.
Yeah, space cheese.
yeah, it's like Tang, but
Particle
cheese.
cheese.
Funny, we're talking about American cheese. We're trying to explain it to Garrett. I think his
Oh.
mind blown.
So do you have a product?
That face explains it.
Do you
pretty
have a
much.
product in Canada that is American cheese, but you call it something else?
It's
Yeah.
got a big maple leaf on it.
Yeah.
We call it. Yeah, no, you wouldn't. I guess people would. Some people would refer to it as American cheese. I was just trying to picture the omelet in my mind, so I wanted to make sure I
It's
was
like-
thinking of the right thing.
Yeah, it's the stuff that McDonald's puts on their burgers.
Yeah,
Right.
the square
Yeah.
cheese.
We
It's
certainly
kinda like
certainly
milk.
have them. Yeah.
I'd be curious.
So-
Kraft is the big, like Kraft is probably the big brand probably across
Yeah.
the country. So
Yeah.
people just call them like Kraft singles or
That
whatever.
makes sense. That makes sense. Kraft dinner.
Yeah, we used to get
Right.
the big Kraft block and like had the cheese slicer.
It's like government cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Land O'Lakes brings it to another level. Land O'Lakes is a little bit of a firmer American cheese. It's not as oil based. I think the Velveeta is like a very oil based cheese. But I love American cheese. I could never go vegan because of that, and I never will. But you know what's good when I was eating meat? American cheese on cheesesteaks is very good. Provolone's I go to, but American cheese on cheesesteaks
So-
is very.
Jared, so then what's your call on cheesesteaks then?
Cheesesteaks?
Like, what cheese you putting on the cheesesteak? You going whiz or what?
Oh, I go no provolone.
Provolone. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now I like what they call around here either a California cheesesteak or a cheesesteak hoagie, which is mayo, lettuce, tomato, and onion.
Do you have a Wawa there?
Yeah, we have Wawas.
Do you get it at the Wawa?
The Wawa's
Some-
got
sometimes
avocado on
you
the
can,
cheese.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not the best
Interesting.
from Wawa, but
I've had cheesesteaks at Wawa. I don't think they're that bad.
they're not bad. They're not, come on.
I think I had a Pat's cheesesteak when I was in
Oh,
Philadelphia.
I'm sure you have because you're a tourist.
Oh, but-
Yeah, that's one of the.
But yeah. No, I'm trying to remember if it was a Geno's or a Pat's. And yes, it was a tourist thing to do, but I had
That's everybody that lives in Philadelphia. When you ask them like Geno's or Pat's, they're like they
Neither.
roll their eyes and they're like,
yeah.
the place that's like,
Yeah.
it's down
Or
the
the mom and pop
block
around.
from my house. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
place.
yeah. When we were down there for a wedding, like probably like 10, 15 years ago now, we were in like a t-shirt place and we asked the guy, and it was like Jim's, like on South Street, and then that's
where we used to go.
yeah, that's where I take everybody.
I want to go down there again soon. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah,
there.
December, go to PAX.
December?
Yeah,
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
I'll be there.
All right.
That'd be a good
I want to
time.
go back to Jared's. Do you say hash browns or home fries?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Good. Yeah, that is. It depends on whether or not we're in a diner or not.
A Greek
If we're in a
diner.
if we're in a diner, it's hash browns. If we're at the house, it's home fries.
Hash browns being the shredded patties,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Or the shredded.
shredded anyway.
Shredded.
Yeah, shredded potatoes, and you got to get them extra crispy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like
only-
they're all shredded and like it's all stuck together as one
Yeah.
thing. Like they flipped
Yeah.
it on the griddle,
Yep.
so it makes them all stuck together. But I'll tell you, up in my freezer is never without a pack of the frozen patties,
Like the McDonald's ones.
like the McDonald's ones. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. I always have those in my freezer too.
Did you put them in a? Did you just pop them
Sure.
in the toaster?
I'm too lazy. My wife puts them in the oven, but that takes she puts them in the air fryer. I got one of those air fryers.
Yeah.
But I put them in the microwave because I'm lazy. I want to just shove it in my face as fast as possible, so I can then dip it into my ice cold orange juice.
Let me just tell you, I don't cook. I don't know if you've noticed in like our I don't do anything. I don't cook. I've never cooked in my life, but I have kids and I have to feed them when my wife's not here. But
Yeah.
Baby Yoda chicken nuggets in the air fryer, I can handle that.
I can do press the button. I'm getting good at pressing the button on
Couple
the
buttons.
Yeah.
8 minutes. She says 8 minutes. Pop them in. Boom. I can do it. They can
Yeah, the air
survive.
fryer is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's like it's such a revolutionary like appliance, and then it's not getting the credit it deserves.
It certainly is not. It's as revolutionary, I would say, as I remember the first time the microwave came out. Remember microwave magic?
You remember like
Basic- microwave. Cakes.
you remember when everyone was afraid of the microwave and you couldn't like be close to it. Your grandma would yell at you for being close to the microwave because you thought your face was gonna melt off.
Yeah. You get a tumor. If you walk by it, you get a tumor immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Um,
like that.
Jared,
That's
do you
right.
ketchup on your omelets or your eggs?
I put a very light amount of ketchup.
Yep.
Which I know some people think is a
Sacrilegious.
sin, but
No, I'm a ketchup egg guy.
I'm a ketchup egg guy. A little bit of Frank's Red Hot never killed anybody.
Nope.
Sometimes. No, you don't do Frank's
No,
Red Hot?
I'm saying it's never killed anybody. I do with a little Franks every once in a while. I gotta be in the mood.
I like Cholula.
Cholula, I've had.
Yeah. That is good stuff.
Cholula's like my top 5.
Yeah, they do.
Good stuff. I like that. I might have to pick some of that up now that you mentioned that.
For
Garrett, you do not like ketchup on eggs.
Yeah, no, I'm typically I'm just a salt and pepper guy on eggs. That's all an egg really needs if you do it right. And I can get behind the hot sauce, like especially an omelet.
Yep.
To whack it with a bit of hot sauce. Maybe not a fried egg or something else, but I'm just not a ketchup eater. And this conversation will come back around in a bit with ketchup type stuff. But
it's America.
ketchup doesn't really work for me, brother. Like
Just a little
doesn't.
S&P.
Ketchup.
You guys, in your neck of the woods, you guys get potato and egg grinders?
No.
Grinders. Sandwiches?
Absolutely not.
No,
No, you don't have those
but
pepper and
I would
egg or
eat that.
potato and egg?
I make those for myself.
The pizza house around here have those. And then we don't have cheesesteaks, we have steak bombs.
Yeah, I don't know if they know about the steak bomb life.
I've only ever heard of it because of you guys.
Oh my God. I don't even want to, Joey, you shouldn't even tell him. Just go run to the local next closest New England Greek pizza place and get a steak bomb.
Get the steak bomb. Unbelievable.
So
Yeah.
I got a story for you. So I saw Pulp Fiction, and they have the scene where he's talking about over there they put mayonnaise on the.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in Holland they put mayonnaise on the French fries.
And I was like, whatever, didn't faze me. Years later, I'm visiting my buddy in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And at the time, I was vegetarian, and I asked him, like,
What the hell's wrong with you people?
I don't know. So I was like, where's a good place to go, and what do I get, and blah blah blah. And they told me to go to this place and get a French fry po' boy, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
So it's a po' boy with just French fries in it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How is that even a thing? That's like,
I don't know, but it was good as shit.
It had to be like
and
$3.
Ever since then, I put mayonnaise on my French fries.
well, okay,
Whenever I
so
can.
mayonnaise on the French fries. This is an interesting thing. We got what in Canada? No, because you got the French there too, right? So you got that French sensibility.
Yeah.
Pommes frites.
Yeah, with the pommes frites.
The different sauces.
Yeah, you got the sauces.
So I would say I would hazard. I'm by no means an expert, but I would hazard to guess that mayonnaise with the French fries probably happens up here more than it would down there, for sure. I like steamed mussels and French fries and mayonnaise. That is.
Ooh, that's a Joey Royale special right there.
Now talk to me about this, Garrett.
So I believe, and again, I don't really know, but I believe it is sort of the traditional Belgian dish.
Yeah.
That it's the steamed mussels.
There's a place.
No, I think it would just be, no. So you'd have your mussels in whatever kind of receptacle, and then you'd have French fries.
Yeah.
And you're dipping and you're eating. So
I love
There's
that.
a
Delicious.
place in Philly that serves that, and it's spectacular.
yeah.
I like
As
steamed
a
mussels.
whole package kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love mussels, man. I could eat my weight in mussels. I could eat my weight in steamers. You got all that stuff down here. That sounds delicious.
That's like your neck of the woods.
Yeah. Boy, that sounds great.
I saw a
What's this?
picture. What's up?
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I saw a picture of a lobster roll from Maine that was literally like, I can't even fit it on the screen. It was massive.
Yeah, I've seen them before.
It's got to be like a $300 lobster roll.
They're through the roof now, buddy. They're through the roof.
Yeah, unbelievable price.
Do you guys say gyro or gyro?
I say
It's
Euro.
pronounced gyro.
Gyro, yeah.
You got to get the in the back of the throat a little bit.
Gyro.
Gyro.
And
Gyro.
is that where hero comes from?
No.
No?
I don't know. That's a good. I don't. You never. You know. I always thought about that, Jared. Like a hero sandwich.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, gyro, gyro. When you hear it spoken in Greek, you know, gyro, it sounds like hero. So I'm guessing since it was invented in my town, the grinder, the hoagie, the sub,
Yeah.
perhaps we have a lot of Greeks. They just did a whole thing. I sent it to Bry. They did a whole article in the newspaper, a video about New London pizza, like the evolution of the Greek New England pizza. It's a little different, but I wonder about that. Somebody's
No.
got to have the answer to that.
It's because a hero.
He said no like 3 times.
Yeah.
It's because it's a specific sandwich that it consists of a small loaf of bread, long cut of half lengthwise, containing a variety of ingredients. Well, I guess that's every sub. I don't know. I'm gonna do some.
Some research.
What's the difference between a hero sub grinder? You know, there was one I've never heard. A spucky. Have you ever heard of a spucky?
Never had a spot. What
We have,
territory is that?
I don't know. It's on the side of the wiki. It says submarine sandwich commonly known as a sub, hoagie, hero, Italian grinder, or a spucky.
We have
Bucky
subs
sounds
and-
like a Minnesota thing or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
subs and hoagies in my neck of the woods.
I mean, just
So,
us.
So the name likely comes from Philadelphia area where during World War I, Italian immigrants who worked in the Hog Island shipyard began making sandwiches. That's where hoagie came from.
Okay.
Hoagie.
Hey,
You guys got to go get yourself a hoagie.
A hoagie. So, and then it's interesting, like, and then on the opposite
Yins.
end of Jared's
Got to
state,
get a hoagie.
you got the Pittsburghers with the like the Pomani brothers.
French fries on the salad.
French fries with the
oh
with,
yeah.
with the
Yes.
sauerkraut.
I've always
Or is
wanted
it
to try-
sauerkraut? No, what is it?
Sour cream.
No, it's
Maybe.
like
No, I don't
oh,
know.
Like a coleslaw.
coleslaw. That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
Yeah, I've always tried that place.
Chef's kiss.
I'd eat
Phenomenal.
meat to try that. There's a couple places that I would break, and I would eat the meat. But you ever have pit beef?
Of course,
Sorry?
pit beef.
Down in Baltimore. I remember I saw the movie. I watch all the John Waters movies. Obviously, the movie Pecker. Everybody had a pit beef stand out in front of their house.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a we.
Gotta tell Garrett what it is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't
So
know.
they-
I've never had it. Brian, you have it?
Yeah, I had it when I was just down there last July. I was in when I met John Hall. I was in Baltimore, and I
Oh
went.
yeah, right. He's
I'm-
down.
Maybe I'm wrong, but they basically build like a fire pit
Yep.
with bricks, and
Yep.
they build it up so it's like tall,
Yeah.
and then the coals are down in it, and they put the brisket or whatever down on like a
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. You're 100% right.
spit or whatever,
Mhm.
and that therefore,
Pit
Pit.
beef.
yeah.
Beef.
That sounds like your time as a pit fighter.
Pit
Yeah.
beef.
Pit beef.
You ever play that Genesis game?
Of course.
What's that?
Pit Fighter, the Genesis game?
Yeah, it was the
Variant
precursor
beef.
to Mortal Kombat.
There was a Sega Genesis at the antique store today with Road Rash attached to it, working $40.
Oh wow.
That's not the worst.
What do you mean the worst? I was interested.
I know, but I'm saying $40 is not like it's not crazy expensive.
Oh no, I know. I'm saying I was tempted. I tempted. It looked like it was in good shape.
Yeah, but so you remember at NoCoCon, I picked up the Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Day 2, I got Primal Rage for Genesis.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
This thing.
Fair.
That's a beast of a game, if you will.
I gotta ask Garrett.
Good fun.
So when I was a kid, my dad took me with a friend of his and my uncle, and we went on a fishing trip in Canada. And we bought these breakfast sausages, right? But when you cooked them,
Oh, beaver dicks? Yeah.
they were They were like white. They turned white like pork as opposed to like, and they kept telling me it was moose meat.
Could be.
Is that a thing?
They were white, I'm picturing like a bratwurst or something.
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
yeah, exactly like that when you cooked it.
I mean, there's a sausage.
It was probably
called
just pork.
Weisswurst.
Yeah. They had me convinced it was moose meat.
Probably
It
not.
could
You're
have
probably
been.
like-
It could have been. I'm thinking pork if it's that color, because moose meat is like
So,
dark,
but-
you know. So
People do
probably
eat
not.
moose, though.
But who's to say?
Have you had moose?
I don't. I don't know if I have actually. Really, when I think about it.
I've had moose.
Yeah, I've had moose.
We actually saw one. We were in the boat, and we came through this like narrow channel and around this little island or whatever, and there was a moose in the water.
You sure it wasn't a
And-
Yeti?
No, it was a moose.
A Wendigo.
Oh,
Wendigo.
They're like if you've never seen one before, they're like way bigger than you expect.
They are very large.
Yeah, we all live in the Northeast, except for
Yeah, I guess you
Tony.
guys get it.
Well,
Yeah.
my dad grew up in Alaska for a while, and he told us stories. Like, apparently, if a moose like wandered into town, everything just like doors closed, windows shut. They're just
nobody
like,
wants
nope, this town doesn't exist anymore.
So-
Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, like, my wife's from New Hampshire, so we would drive up from New York to New Hampshire all the time. And there's two things: you either hit a moose or you hit a leaf peeper.
What's a leaf peeper?
These damn New Yorkers, New York
Oh,
Cityers,
the-
go
yeah.
up
a leaf
Yeah,
go
yeah,
up to New
Gotcha.
England and peep in the leaves during the fall
Nice.
season, and they stop in the middle of the road to take pictures of leaves and
A
almost
leaf
cause
peeper.
a pileup.
I like that.
Leaf peeping.
You're not going to feed a moose with a car.
Absolutely not. You hit you
walk
hit a-
away.
a moose, you're gonna hit like its shins, and it's gonna kneel down and just
Yeah, I would
destroy your
think
car.
be
You
like
will
just
die if you hit it.
driving into a brick wall, pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you drink? So what's the accompanying drink to lunch, breakfast for dinner?
No, I'm a coffee guy. I love coffee. I used to drink coffee all day long. I can't do that anymore. I literally destroyed the lining of my stomach.
Oh my God.
So
Fair.
Likely speak.
I try and keep it to 2 cups a day now.
Yeah,
but
I'm that
it's
now,
like
too.
it's ritual. Special occasions, I might put a little shot of whiskey in there, Maker's Mark or something like that.
What is so you would say with Big Lebowski and Brenner, you're drinking coffee?
Yeah, I mean, White Russian is the obvious
Well, yeah,
thing,
that's true.
and
White Russian with
lingonberry
the omelet.
pancakes, but
White Russian omelet. No
yeah.
thank.
No, I'm not like I don't know how people can drink like a beer with like food. That's disgusting to me.
Oh, really?
No.
Sorry, what?
It's just gross to me.
How do you drink beer without eating food?
You just drink like now. Like I would like. I'm sure Garrett. What are you drinking right now? What's in your cup?
I got a nice sour from Collective Arts.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means.
It's a sour ale. It's good.
How do you go to bed, Bry? With that?
I don't. You listen. You see me text you all the time.
Dude, I do see that the timestamps on your text. You wake up when the cock crows. You're up very early.
Yeah, I'm up usually like on the weekends, like 4 a.m.
Wow. Wow. I
There's
have
some-
Maybe a little later.
out there blueberry lemonade
Oh, nice.
Excellent
mixed
choice.
seltzers.
I mean, yeah, I got the
I was drinking a cider,
tried and true.
A Magner's cider.
Magner's Irish cider.
Yeah.
And
I just got my bottle of water.
Yeah, now I'm onto the seltzer.
So Garrett, it
Oh,
all
hold
come-
on.
Oh.
Just 1 second.
Absolutely.
Just need something clarified. Steak bomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what is this?
I don't know if I want to tell you. I think you need to experience one.
Well, where am I going to get one?
Well, not anywhere around here.
I'll bring one up in a bag. Hey, maybe I'll do that. Maybe when I go up to AnchorCon, I'll bring a cooler of some local
I mean,
delight.
you could realistically freeze a steak bomb.
Well, you got some up by you, don't you? You got steak bombs up there?
Not like that. Not like a traditional, like New England steak bomb.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too different than a Philly cheesesteak.
No, yes, it is.
How so? What kind of steak bombs you
All
eat?
right, so steak bomb consists of your Philly cheesesteak, right? Like the shaved steak with pepperoni added to it.
Oh, no.
What?
I've never. Okay, excuse me. I was being
I'm
rude.
so glad I asked.
All right, let me look up a steak
I'm
bomb,
not
I guess.
Not
All right.
sure about the
Well, I mean, you could probably add pepperoni to it if you're a psychopath. But so you get this shaved steak, green peppers,
Yes.
provolone cheese.
Yes, salami. Oh, salami then, not pepperoni. My bad.
Oh my God, that's me overload. I just do steak bomb in my town. If you order a steak bomb, just the way it is, you get green peppers, onions, shaved steak, provolone on a piece of bread. I go a little nuts. I add mushrooms to it. But so you're throwing on cold cuts on top of it, Bri?
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up the place that Gold House Pizza in Littleton, New Hampshire is my steak bomb place of choice. So I need to find out what they put in their steak bomb, and then I'll get back to you.
All right.
Because it definitely had pepperoni.
One of you guys can tell me what gabagool is, because I don't know what it is. Capicola, right?
Capicola.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Capicola. Very good. I used to love a good Capicola grinder.
Yeah, that's like a cold cut, right?
Yeah, that's a cold cut. I believe it's
Heavy with paprika.
pork.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sliced very thin. That's why I liked it. It's almost like a prosciutto, but not. It's not the dried prosciutto.
Oh,
Do you guys have the olive
see
loaf?
their menu. Do they even make olive loaf anymore?
You can get it at the Stop and Shop, but they don't have them at the grinder and pizza houses around me.
I bet you can get it around here because the Amish love bad olives for some reason.
Never had olive loaf.
It's basically like bologna.
Bologna, right? It's like bologna with olive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
with olive.
for some reason you click their website and it says it's suspended.
Because they put the cold cuts on it.
But it's not like it's not.
They're under investigation.
So it's not like a. All right, hold on. Here we go. We got the menu.
The bomb squad came and said, "No more of this."
Steak grinders. So, okay, I apologize. They don't call it a steak bomb there. That's just the Gold House special.
Okay,
It's mushroom, onions, peppers, pepperoni, and salami, with the red shaved lean steak served with provolone cheese.
That sounds like a good time.
It's
Sounds good.
One of the
Sounds
best.
good to me.
One of the best things. That's like when I would go up there. That's like the number one stop. Gold House. It's a Greek family, Greek pizza place. Much akin to.
Nuts. This is driving me absolutely nuts. My mother today, I was over there. My father's building the pizza oven, so I stopped by, and we were talking about something, and somehow hot dogs came up because my son loves hot dogs. I used to travel all around the tri-state area eating different hot dogs. And she goes, you must really miss barbecue season and all that. I said, no, this was a choice. It's not that I miss it. I didn't give anything. I made a choice, but this conversation is turning the weather vane a little bit. I'm having a little bit of a problem over here, gentlemen.
Well, there's this place in Newburyport, right? Massachusetts, that still sells a quarter hot dog. You can go in and get off the roller a quarter, 25 cents.
Hot dog.
Quarter hot dog.
Oh, okay. Hot dog for a quarter.
Hot dog for a quarter.
Not a quarter of a hot dog.
No, it's not like a quarter pound. It's not a quarter pound, which they do sell quarter pound hot dogs. Yes, you can. They exist.
Huh?
But this is 25
We need
American cents per
Wow.
hot dog. Still to this day.
Nice.
I'd be down.
Quarter dog.
I'll tell you of the local. Well, it's
Yeah.
it's Rhode Island.
Oh,
and
and it's New England style buns there, so you know you're gonna like that.
Yep. That's the buttered and grilled.
Well, and then it's not like it's the split. It's like the bread on each
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the uninitiative of what a New
Have you
England
ever
style bun is.
had the I think it's Cleveland style, I want to say, or maybe Portland. I don't know. Like I watched some show about like all the different styles of hot
Yeah.
dogs in different cities across the country, and the one was now I'm thinking it's Portland. It was red onions and cream cheese.
Ugh. Nope.
I was like, I gotta at least try that.
Them
It's
Midwesterners,
actually
man.
really good.
I would try. In my hot dog days, I would have tried everything. In Rhode Island, they have something called the New York system hot dog, which is one of my favorites of all time. And that's basically they're on the smaller end, steamed bun, and chili, chopped onion, and celery salt. Celery salt is what really makes it the thing. Delicious, and they serve them with coffee milk.
Oh, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I'm always going to bring up that. And then
Oh,
another
no.
thing around here that I used to love when I was a meat eater, my father turned me on to it. This place called Ted's Steamed Cheeseburgers. So it doesn't touch a lick of flame the entire time of its existence. They make these special these metal mausoleums, and they put it on the grill, and the steam, there's a little tray of water, and they steam the meat. Oh my God. And
Is it actually good?
oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. It's moist. They put a special kind of a white cheddar on top of it. It's absolutely delicious. Ted's Steamed Cheeseburger.
It's like that like that Simpsons episode.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. It's like, so it's actual steamed hams.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and then
so-
he's like, well, it's like an upstate New York thing. And then the superintendent's like, well, I'm from Utica. It's like, I lived there for 12 years. That's how I remember it. He's like, well, I'm from Utica, New York.
Chalmers.
Yeah, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Nintendo Chalmers. Yeah.
Back when Simpsons was good and relevant.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever had steak tartare?
Yes.
So,
I had a
How
chef
about
make it
that?
for me. One of my head chefs years ago. It was really good.
It's raw steak, right?
well, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Well.
the
Carpaccio.
like the Huns would like put meat in between
Yeah.
their saddles and the horse and ride it all
It's
day.
actually, yeah, that's where hamburger came from, because that's what
Yeah.
made me think of it.
Oh, like cowboys
From the Huns.
from the Huns. We're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
from the Huns, right? Isn't that like the thing?
So,
Pretty much.
You guys were talking about horse meat. The only time I ate horse meat was in tartare form, and I was
Oh, really?
not. Now I only ordered it because it was years ago. Girlfriend and I went out, and I must have gotten my bonus or something. I thought I was a big shot, so we were ordering drinks and appetizers, all kinds of stuff.
your finest horse.
bunch of bourbon, and then I see the horse tartare, and I'm thinking, and this is probably like our 5th date or something, and I'm thinking I'm gonna look cool ordering the horse tartare. Big mistake. It was awful.
So
It
what do
was
you do
awful.
for a living? Oh, I'm a equine veterinarian. Oh boy.
Oh, Maron.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But when my friend told me that the family got horse in Italy, it was like that. It was like the shaved, like a carpaccio.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know. So, my tour de Italy, like the second time I went, when we went to like northern Italy, we were there like 8 days. I didn't eat nothing but pizza. Every meal I ate pizza. That was like, oh, except for the last day. So when we were in Rome, prior to this, there is an Italian theme chain restaurant to look like the American Midwest or American Southwest. So
Oh,
like
wow.
cowboys and like all that stuff. And I wanted to go to the one in Rome so bad. I'm like, can we please go? Can we please go? And she's like, absolutely not. It's not happening. No, that's so stupid. Why would we do that, right? So we
Like
were in a
the-
mall in Florence, and they had it. They had the chain again. I'm like, all right, this is it. Now or never. So we went, and it was not the coolest place ever. I broke my pizza chain to eat at this, and it was not. I mean, it was all right. It was just like barbecue and burgers. Probably just like a barbecue burger.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the place in Arrested Development, I think it's called like Big Amy's. They just serve like donuts and nachos and like giant cokes like this.
Well,
big.
the funny thing is, like when you go to like
That's what you
October,
Americans like, right?
well, you go to Oktoberfest and stuff, and every ride or every like food stand cart is a caricature of America on it. It's like Michael Jackson eating a slice of pizza with like E.T. in the background. It's like, it's not even an exaggeration. It's like everywhere you go. It's like American style hot dogs, and you go, and it's not at all an American style hot dog. It's just an amalgamation of American vomit with what like they think that we are like.
Right.
It's very strange.
Want to see a nice piece of pizza?
Absolutely.
Oh.
What? No, that's not nice at all.
Yes. Let me explain this right here.
Looks like it might have been nice at one point.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was from this. I've been down a little bit in the basement, so it's not as. But you're looking at olive, roasted red pepper, and yes, breaded eggplant.
Oh my God.
That's what that is.
I mean, I need it.
I would
It's
not.
delicious. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious.
I love Brian's response to that. That's a vegetable.
Yeah, why would I do that? So like, and then another thing in northern Italy too is they put French fries on top of their pizza.
I'm not gonna.
No,
I like-
absolutely not.
I'll be trying that real soon.
You like anchovies?
Huh?
Probably tomorrow.
You like anchovies?
I've never. So we talked about this. I've never had anchovies on pizza. I've eaten them out of the can, but like I've never had them on a pizza. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I've actually had seafood pizza. I actually am pretty down with it.
White clam pizza is big around here. So like on all the cooking shows when they go around and they pizza in different states, Pepe's always makes the list, which in Sally's is across the street in New Haven. And Pepe's is claim to fame. Not only they have really good brick oven pizza, but is the white clam pizza. I've had it and it's nothing to write home about. It kind of gets lost in the mix. I know it's probably sacrilege for some pizza eaters in Connecticut, but I don't care. But I like a nice Pepe's anchovy pizza. That's very nice. We have the casino is both casinos. Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun is up here, and Mohegan Sun has a Pepe's that's closer. So we used to go up there and get the anchovy pizza. It's very, very good. Very salty.
So I want your quick opinion there, Joey. So I as well enjoy a seafood pizza from time to time. Not, I mean, really, it's a treat, right? It's not a staple pizza for sure. But mussels, you throw them on there out of the shell, or does the shell go on the pizza? Because I ordered one a while ago, and I opened the box and I thought to myself, well, okay, I guess, which is fine.
I slap them in the face.
Yeah, but
You know,
there might
pizza
be.
is to be grabbed and shoved in the mouth. I don't have time to pull the mussels or the oysters or the clams out of the damn shell. I want pizza because I'm depressed and I'm and I want it in my mouth as much as possible. Now you go out to dinner, you go to a fancy dinner, you get the linguine and clams or the mussels. I expect them to be in their shells because now you're showing me it's fresh. I don't care how fresh the clams are on my pizza. I'm not eating clam pizza because I'm fancy and in a 3-piece suit. I'm eating clam pizza because I'm going through something.
The last one I had with I ordered from this place. I'd never ordered from them before.
It looked good though.
And it did look good. However, after I sent that picture, one of the shells broke. In the act of trying to remove the shell off the top, you have cheese holding it in place, right? And the thing broke. And you get big pieces of shell. That's not a problem, but you're also getting shell dust right
Yeah.
on your top of your
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah, but you could
That's
eat
no good.
shell.
Well, I ate it, but
Yeah, I was gonna
mean,
say,
I'm just
people do-
saying,
people
it's
do
not
So like
ideal.
But mussel shells are thick. Though that's like glass. You cut the roof of your
it's
mouth.
edible.
That's a thick shell.
I watched a video where Arnold Schwarzenegger would make a shake in the morning, and he would just throw the 2 eggs in it, shell and all. So I that's how I do it every time. Raw egg, eat the shell with it.
Oh my God! You eat raw egg?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get salmonella.
No, you don't.
I remember in Never-Ending Story, I used to gag every time in the beginning when the father used to make the
Shake with the eggs.
Oh my God!
There's literally no flavor. Like raw egg, there's no flavor. It's just all like consistency.
Yeah, but that consistency, man.
You just
it's
slide
very,
it down.
It's like mucus.
You just put it in a shake with the egg with the shell, and it's a little crunch to it.
That's a crazy person.
Here's a fun fact: you can get every nutrient you need except for calcium from potatoes.
Yes.
You can get the calcium by boiling seashells in water.
Potatoes, mash them, cut them up, put them in a stew or whatever you say.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why clam chowder is so big around here. You get everything you need: the potatoes, the broth.
Yeah, the
That's
shell.
probably what they serve the prisoners.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, the lobster. Yeah, I know all about that.
Lobsters were enslaved people's foods around here, allegedly. I mean, that's how the story goes.
Yeah, that's the
Hey,
story.
if they're giving me chowder every day in the joint, then I gotta go out and commit some crimes. Like,
Well, I'm
I
sure.
mean, lock me up.
Jail.
What's Canadian jail like? I've seen Trailer Park Boys. It doesn't seem too bad. They're like a hockey league in there.
Yeah, it's pretty amateur hour. Not that I would know, but
Yeah, allegedly. So what's the Canadian consensus on Trailer Park Boys and Leonard Kenny?
So here's the thing. So I felt like I got in on the ground floor of Trailer Park Boys. I think I saw a commercial and watched the first episode like on Showcase, and it was one of those shows where the show ends, right? And there's like not really internet, like you don't have a cell phone where you're texting people at that time.
Right.
I was picking up the phone right away. Like, did you watch the show? Do you see? And all my buddies were super into it, and we were really into it for the first 4 seasons, maybe 3 or 4 seasons, even 5 seasons, maybe. But that show really dropped off a lot, in my opinion.
Right.
The quality didn't stay. And Letterkenny, I don't know. Letterkenny's more of a like out west thing, so I'm not really versed in it at all. So I can't comment on. I know it's popular.
Yeah, it's very popular.
And if anybody has not seen Trailer Park Boys, I mean, check out. I mean, the first few seasons are. I mean, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I would say Countdown to Liquor Day is like the finale of Trailer Park Boys for me.
Is that the one where they at the end Leahy and Randy quit drinking and they start smoking dope?
I think that might be later than that. Countdown to Liquor Day is the one where Leahy ends up on the island by himself, like drinking. With the money and stuff. It was like the movie. It's the second movie.
Okay. I'm not sure if I've seen that. I think. Look at Charlie. I haven't watched it in a long time. I mean, I was really into that show, and then I was sort of disappointed with the direction it took. Like the later stuff really didn't interest me at all. So, but I mean, the first few seasons they're classic.
Oh, absolutely. Like one of those shows where you literally like are laughing so hard, like your sides hurt.
Yeah,
I gotta check it out.
Sure.
You've never seen Trailer Park Boys?
No.
Oh,
you gotta watch Joey.
Dude,
Watch
they're like
Joey.
every character is a freaking character in it too. Like they all have their own shtick. It's like amazing.
I'll watch it before bed tonight.
Yeah, you're not going
So,
to bed tonight.
Very enjoyable first episode.
I have family in Nova Scotia, so like watching the show is sort of interesting too because they do filming outside of Halifax. You can like, oh yeah, that's where that is. It's good. It's funny. It really is. One of the great Canadian contributions.
What about Stan?
SCV, all those guys back in the day. You guys, Jim Carrey.
What's your Stan Rogers stance? Did he freeze?
Stan Rogers?
Yeah,
Wondering who Stan Rogers is.
Northwest Passage song.
Not ringing any bells.
I thought it was like a Canadian staple.
Could be.
That's just what America wants you to think.
Yeah.
I thought like you had to know the words to Stan Rogers songs.
Well, I feel like if you put it on, I'd probably recognize it, but it's not ringing any bells.
I mean, this episode wasn't meant to be a test Garrett's Canadian ism.
You're gonna have to change the overlay to Ravioli for Randy Canada edition.
Yeah.
Everything you've ever wondered about Canada answered tonight.
Maple Leafs for Miss Elizabeth.
I am gonna steal the Canucks exploitation for it.
We didn't get Garrett's favorite movie.
Yeah, we're getting to it. No, I'm pressuring him into. I'm getting to it. Don't worry. This is true journalism at its finest.
You gotta soften him up until you start asking him the real.
No, because I've been meaning to ask him like his Trailer Park Boy thoughts. So I'm happy. I'm happy that it's
huge fan.
Awesome.
Love it.
Because you kind of threw me for a loop when we were talking about Bret the Hitman Hart, and that you weren't like a huge Bret the Hitman Hart fan.
Well, that's probably beyond the scope of this particular conversation,
right?
Because it's very complicated, right? So, I have a long history with the Hitman.
Yeah, I know. We're not gonna. I'm just saying that was a precursor to like. It's like, well, if he doesn't
save it for the wrestling episode.
I'm not a self-hating Canadian. I buy into a lot of the shtick, just not everything.
All right.
I'm very interested to have this discussion with you.
When
that episode.
You should have seen like Anchor Con or not Anchor Con. Noco Con was just like when he showed up. Like I wasn't interested in anything. There was like a kid like trying to roll up a character. I'm just like, yeah, like whatever, kid. Like, yeah. Like it's not a library. Just get out of here. Like,
no, you don't know who this is. However,
yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys got down and dirty with the wrestling.
Well, it just kind of happened. We were just like, like this. We were just sitting around talking about stuff, and then it just came up.
We covered a variety of
topics
of issues. Yeah.
Issues.
Yeah, because old Bret the Hitman Hart is a spokesperson for Bazooka Bubblegum right now.
That's right. That's right. I saw that. Yeah.
So I commented. I said the bubblegum screw job, and like the internet thought I was pretty funny for a little bit.
So there's a new couple on the softball team I play on. They're brand new this year, and it might have been this hat, or I might have been wearing Good Brothers pants or something. He realized that it was like a piece of wrestling clothing, and he was like, "Oh, Bret the Hitman Hart." And it was in the middle of the game, and I kind of felt bad because I like cut a promo on him about how Bret Hart sucks, and like people are sort of like, "Is he joking?" Anyways, I sort of apologized after him because it was the same sort of thing. Because I was talking to you, you brought up Bret Hart. I kind of like I don't want to get into it now, but I kind of lost it a little bit.
It was that's when I knew we had to do a wrestling episode when he went off on Hitman Hart, and then we talked about '96. When Hogan turned heel.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk about wrestling for hours for sure.
And then he said, "Hey yo," he said, "Hey Chico." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'm out. I apologize." He said, "I got the good food, man," and I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Sir Beef. I apologize."
The razor's edge is a regular move used in our swimming pool. I get my son up and get him right over every summer.
The razor's edge, the cult of the razor. Like you have no idea in what's gonna happen with the wrestling factions in Neon Lords.
It's gonna change the face of Neo Terra XX for eons to come.
Yep.
Awesome. So what are we looking at here, Garrett? What is the pellicula?
So I'll preface it very. I'll preface it very quickly with a short aside. I actually told this to Brian last weekend. So I used to work, not for a long time, but it was probably a year and a half or something in a video store, and people are coming in all the time and saying like, hey, like, what's good? What should I be getting? Because the expectation is that you are knowledgeable about what's new and what's good. And every day I would say, and people would start to learn, just don't ask them, because I would say, well, I don't really like films actually. And they'd look at me like I was stupid because, we should get a different job then, pal. But I would tell the people that I am, the video game guy. So, but no one had made me the video game guy. It was just sort of a moniker that I sort of took myself and sort of ran with. So, and you know what? That's why I love this show so much, is because like it's a lot of films that I'm not really aware of. That's why I really get into it, because you guys are knowledgeable. You talk about a lot of interesting stuff I haven't seen and that's on the list. So I went a little different. I stuck to the sci-fi because like I'm a huge sci-fi guy. It's certainly not an action film because there's like one 20-second fist fight in the film, but it was a movie that when it came out, I was really into, because I was into the whole sort of dystopian theme as far as fiction, reading a lot of dystopian novels. So my submission is 1997's Gattaca.
Oh.
If you're familiar with that one.
Gattaca, that is the one where the guy was in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be a spaceman. So he pretended it was
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke pretended he pretended to be Jude Law.
Yes.
Yeah.
All while in love with Uma Thurman. So it was very 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds awesome. I've never heard.
You never seen Gattaca?
Oh, you've never seen Gattaca, Joey?
Oh, look this up right now.
Oh, you gotta
That's a
check
good
it out.
one.
It's really good.
So it's Andrew Niccol who is directed Truman Show. So
wow.
It's an interesting film, Joey. If you have not watched it, I would recommend it. It certainly is not an action-filled, raucous film. It's not that sort of. It's more of a character piece than anything, because you're sort of following this guy who is trying to navigate this dystopian world where there's like it's in the near future, and there's two sort of casts of people: natural birth people who are afflicted by all the normal things that can go wrong with humans getting, having hereditary diseases potentially, or defects, and then people that are engineered, genetically engineered and birthed artificially, with tissue sample or whatever from parents. So it's your child, but it's genetically modified to eliminate disease and to highlight, highlight potential. So there's sort of smarter and better, and then so you have the discrimination of everything is based on figuring out whether you're they call them valids, which are the modified people, and the invalids, which are natural birth, and the whole society sort of works around the valids getting all the good jobs, the money, the opportunities, and then the invalids who
only valids are allowed to go.
Yeah,
only valids are allowed to go into space.
Somebody's speakers are going crazy.
Hello?
Well, I will definitely check that out.
Highly recommend it.
What goes?
Yeah, so it doesn't really fit the mold as far as a lot of the films that you guys typically talk about, but it does. For that point in time, it was. I rewatched it knowing that I was coming on. I wanted to watch it again, and it was enjoyable. It's a really good.
I'll watch that this week. Thank you.
So anyway, Hell Comes to Frogtown. The special effects are unbelievable.
What do you pair with a movie about genetic master race?
So there's no food in the film. I guess they eat once, but it's not notable. I don't know. The theme wasn't there. I was going to make this more educational than making a direct link.
Okay.
Sort of getting upset because you guys sort of went off on the exact thing. But I submit the anchovy pizza.
There you go. All
Brian
right.
had mentioned that he had never had anchovy pizza, and I mean it's something that you need to really go for. It's now there's rules to follow, and I'm sure you probably could figure them out. It's not a pizza that you want to order from a chain. This is not a Domino's. This is not a Domino's delivery pizza that you get because it takes a certain sensibility to sort of make it in a way that's going to be enjoyable. You get places, like I've ordered them, and they break up the fish and sprinkle it like bacon crumble, and that is not at all what you want because the fact is that the fish it's a very fishy fish and it's super salty. If you spread that evenly throughout your pie, you're making something that is not, satisfyingly poundable for a pizza. Like the whole beauty of a pizza is like, oh, you know what the hell, I'll have another slice. But you're not doing that unless, what you're looking for is the whole anchovy half.
Yes.
One piece on a pizza. And it may be that in the cutting process that you don't get an anchovy, on the slice that might be cut, but that's okay because you just need the hit. And when you get the piece, it's there. And when you're just eating the cheese part of the pizza, it's a little break from the intensity of the anchovy. But anyways, you'll go on this journey. You just gotta put your anchovy pizza in the hands of a pizza person that that you can trust. You don't want to do it with the high school kid working at the Domino's. He's going to make a mess of it. So
Little Caesars.
Garrett, that's an exceptional demonstration of the anchovy pizza. I knew you were cool, but you just hit the next level.
Kudos.
That is very well put. You cannot do a shotgun blast anchovy to as Jared said, at Little Caesars. You're going to be throwing up all over the place.
And I would not recommend any other. Like what you want is you want your tomato sauce and your cheese, and you want the anchovy. You do not want to explore other toppings with it. It should be you're getting a cheese pizza with little goodies on there. You don't want to.
It's a tapenade. It's not. Yeah, it's a cheese pizza. I think we could say it's a cheese pizza with some anchovy. It's not like you order a hamburger pizza, the whole pizza top is hamburger.
Yeah.
But no, this is like it's a gentleman's touch of a very strong fish.
And it's not like I said, it's not a pizza that I would eat every week or every 2 weeks or whatever your pizza consumption is. It's something that you're going to get, once in a while when you're really thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to order a pepperoni pizza. You know what you're getting. This is not something like that, but it's for anybody who likes pizza. I mean, you have to be willing to eat the anchovy. That's the other thing too. Because it's a pungent fish, right? Like if you are not into fishy fish, like I would still say try it, but you might not love it, but it's worth a try.
It's a strong flavor.
The man
and the saltiness is through the roof too. So that's why you want it sparingly on there. If you order one of these and it's just littered with fish, it's just not enjoyable. You need to look at it with your bite and know what you're getting. You gotta have to be ready, right? Am I gonna get a mouthful of anchovy or am I just gonna get some cheese here?
The man geek in the chat says if you really want to do anchovies, do it in a paste and then mix it into your sauce, and then you get a little flavor for the anchovies over the entire pizza, and most people will never notice.
That's a very nice touch. And there's anchovies in Caesar salad as well.
I was just going to say that's almost a Caesar salad approach, which it sounds, because it would be a muted application, it would probably be nice depending on what else you got going on with it.
I love Caesar salad too.
Of course, and then I brought up Hell Comes to Frogtown, and he jumped on that. That's our audience. So okay, Garrett, here
I have actually just a quick bonus, if I may.
I got a bonus for you too. So do yours, and then I'm gonna hit you with another one.
So because it's July, it's hot dog season. I know you guys are all getting ready to grill up dogs and whatever for 4th of July and all that jazz. It's the time of year for hot dogs. So I just want to impart a tiny bit of hot dog knowledge.
All right, I'm all for
sir.
it.
I've walked the earth, and I've eaten the dogs, and now Vienna beef is going to give you a little helping hand, brother. So, and you know what? This it happened to me yesterday. I went to a buddy's house for a barbecue. We made some dogs. You know, you're sort of at the mercy of somebody else's setup, whatever they got, you use whatever. Because I'm not going to bring, I'm going to bring the essentials. I'm not going to bring all my favorites. But had he would have had this, it would have went perfectly. So this is something you can buy and just keep. It lasts forever. The French fried, the French fried onion.
Yes.
I'm assuming you guys can get this. So
Yes.
this is a French fried onion. It's a deep fried onion, right? It's effectively, like it's a potato chip style thing. What you're getting is a heavily fried, very salty onion. And I mean, almost like the anchovy, the salt level is through the roof. So you don't want to go too hard with it. You don't want to load it up. But just like a salad topper, you just need a little sprinkle, on your hot dog.
I love this.
With some mustard or whatever you want. And
Yeah.
it blends a very nice, surely it's very nice because you're getting like a crunch, like whatever kind of person you are. If you're a toasted bun person or if you're just a bread bun, you're getting a nice crunch factor in your hot dog that you might not have from something else. Like a lot of hot dog toppings are on the sort of liquidy, sloppy side, right? Like you have your sauces and relish or whatever, or pickled, whatever you want to throw on there. You don't get a lot of that crunchy factor. And French fried onions, you pick it up a couple bucks, it lasts forever. Even if it's old, really, it's sort of a stale-ish product to begin with. As soon as you pull the thing off the top, it lasts, and it's just good to have because it elevates a very ignoble hot dog. Sort of, it brings it up a little bit. So that's just a free June hot dog tip from your pal.
Nice.
Vienna beef.
There's the someone's speaker. I can hear myself on it.
I like the cut of your jib, Garrett. That sounds wonderful.
There's that Thanksgiving dish that's like the I want to say it's what
Green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole with
That's
the
actually my favorite thing in the universe. Like when it comes to Thanksgiving.
Put that over there.
What the hell? What's going on over in Jared's house?
I had a mannequin head.
I was.
Follow me.
There you go.
the man geek in the chat just said he met Sergeant Slaughter today.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit.
That guy's got to be old.
He's super old, I guarantee it. I mean, that's like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tugboat, Hulk, the Hulk era. Like that's Hulkamania at its finest right there. Slaughter.
You do an impression
Of
Brian?
what, Sergeant? No.
Yeah, I was hoping you could.
Give me a week. I'll get back to it.
Just wanted to hear it.
What?
Garrett, let's talk. You've opened the floodgates here. Let's talk about condiments for hot dogs. You're not a ketchup man.
I don't have a problem with it, but it's certainly not something I reach for. No.
It's low tier. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So let's expand upon this. What do you say, Jared? What were you going to say?
Well, I mean, I grew up putting ketchup on my hot dogs, but nowadays I go for the go-to is mustard, spicy mustard, and
Golden's.
raw onions
Yes.
chopped up.
Yep. I grew up with just ketchup. That's all. cheese dogs. I'm a big fan of cheese dogs, American cheese on there
Yeah.
with ketchup. That was me growing up. Worked at a hot dog stand for a long time, 4 years.
Where didn't you work?
I've had a lot of jobs. This was called Fred's Shanty. Opened in 1976, right on the water, right across the street, right across the river from the nuclear submarine.
What about so you could see the Montauk Monsters from there?
I thought you said underwater for a second.
No. It's a little underwater hot dog
on
stand.
the water. Okay.
But this now I've moved on to the Golden's mustard, the spicy mustard, one of my favorites, with chopped onion, like the diced onion.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a little relish on there too.
See,
sometimes I go for relish.
You guys have better palates. The Man Geek says cream cheese and grilled onions is a Seattle dog.
Okay, it is Seattle, not Portland. Seattle.
And no, I'm just a basic B. I'm a ketchup.
I'm kind of weird with hot dogs. Like
I can eat hot dogs raw too, with nothing. Well, not raw, but like nothing, no condiments.
I used to when I was
raw. That's serial killer. Eat raw hot dogs.
Like sometimes just the thought of a hot dog grosses me out.
I can see that for sure.
And other times, like I really want a hot dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is, but
it's probably because half of it's
because I know what they
are.
I know. Yeah, I know what it.
Long dogs are big this neck of the woods.
What is it?
What is that?
A long dog.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of it, yeah. Like we got a lot of clam shacks around here, hot dog stands by the beach, and almost all of them, all the ones I know in town, sell footlongs.
We went to a hockey game it was before the pandemic. I don't know, 3-4 years ago. Went to a hockey game in Toronto with the girlfriend and her parents, and I got up. I was very nice. I said, "Did anybody want anything?" No. So I came back with a footlong. And her mom kept talking about it, like, "Oh, that's too much. Oh, you shouldn't be eating that." And I said, "If she keeps talking about it, I'm going to eat a second one." So I ate the footlong, and she kept taking shots at me. So guess what? Intermission, I got up, I went back, I paid another whatever it was,
nice,
$14 for another footlong, and I ate, and I polished the whole thing, ruined supper. It was awesome.
Glorious,
unbelievable. I had once, if you want to get really gross with hot dogs, the Brooklyn Diner. I ordered this once. Is in the Brooklyn Diner, which is actually in Manhattan, still around. It's a 15-inch hot dog, probably about 2 pounds. I'm the world's biggest hot dog fan, and I almost gave up hot dogs forever after this one. You actually get a button that said I ate the whole thing. We got it to go on a job.
Nice. Disgusting.
Way too much. Footlong, just enough. But the Brooklyn Diner 15-incher, you're going too far. I can eat 2 12-inches, but you don't put it all on one hot dog.
I've had a meter wiener at like a Volksfest, like Oktoberfest, a meter wiener.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, in Germany, right?
Yeah, but that's completely different because like German like frankfurters are completely different than American.
This was like bologna
stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's good. This was disgusting. This was like a big bologna dog.
Have you tried, Joey? They're called tofu pups.
Ugh! Don't even. Hey, no. Don't even answer that. Don't even talk about it. Next, put a pin in it forever.
They're fairly close.
No, I've had vegan hot dogs because my spouse did veganism for a little over a year, and every so often, we try something a little bit different, and they had those like smart tofu dog things.
Yeah,
they're not bad.
But...
Scott Thulu in the chat said his sister dated a guy that would put peanut butter on his hot dogs. That's a little spicy psycho. Right there. That's a psycho.
Right there. That's a straight up psycho.
Jeffrey.
I think the number 2 meal that we always had growing up was the hot dog chopped up in
Yep.
a bowl of SpaghettiOs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like Americana in a bowl right
Yeah.
there.
Mac and cheese too.
Mac
We
and
do-
cheese,
we do
yeah.
Yeah.
Mac
It's
and
like
we
cheese.
talked with mac and
Mac and
cheese.
The
Hot
number
dog.
one was scrambled egg sandwiches with baked beans. So
Ooh.
Oh,
we had that all the time.
it's
All the
disgusting.
time.
Good.
Can't say I had that.
No, I'm never.
I did.
I'm not a baked beans fan.
Oh,
I
I,
am
love
now.
beans.
As a
And
kid, I like
they-
baked beans now.
Baked beans out of the can too. Like
Yeah,
not,
they got to be out of the
yeah.
with the brown sugar sauce on it. Make them.
Mhm.
It's a great time to be a vegetarian because there's like I went into the freezer the other day. My wife got me pulled pork sandwiches, and
That's not pulled pork.
but you know, it's like they changed the lettering. It's like
So
pulled
then,
pork.
what's the point? No, see, you're a faux vegetarian. You either go full and only eat broccoli and Brussels sprouts and hate your life, or you
Well,
eat
here-
the meat.
Here's something to consider, right?
No.
Well, no, it's a reason not to be.
Okay,
vegetarian.
I'm interested.
There's a certain type of soy protein
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, it's the estrogen.
It's super bad for your liver.
I only once in a while get
And
the
Brian's like, yeah, ooh,
All right, Kelly, are you gonna
horrible.
you break an edge when you come?
Listen, I'm not gonna say anything on camera, but I'm a pushover. I'm a pushover.
Trust me.
Break an edge, you bet, man. You're gonna find me on the floor, hot dog sticking out of my mouth, a cigarette in my ear, and a Manhattan spilled all over my shirt.
Your wife's gonna have to come pick you up because you got the meat shit.
Gotta drive 5 hours. Dad broke edge.
Yeah.
One of my
And a
best friends
milkshake.
in high school was this Polish kid, and he was the first person I ever met that was vegetarian. But every once in a while, I remember this one time, we came out of this house, and he told us he was going down to like the Getty Mart. If you don't know what Getty Mart is, it's like a just mini market. And we walk up into the parking lot, and he's sitting on the curb eating a ham sub. And we were like, Bartek, what? And he said, oh, this is what I call a reality check. And then he would just go back to being vegetarian for like months. And
I feel that.
Yeah.
Heck, no.
Every once in a while,
Yeah,
you'd catch him.
Maybe I need a couple of reality checks this summer.
Yeah, come up here in August.
A whole weekend of them.
You never know.
Yeah,
You
because
never know.
you're gonna be hanging out with me and Vienna Beef the whole time.
Then I come home, my wife's like, "How was it up there?" I don't want to talk about it.
And then Ben Maz is gonna be. I don't know if he's vegetarian or not, but I don't think.
It's like Vegas. What you eat up there stays up.
I come home, I'm gonna be. Oh my god! Did you drink? No, worse.
Hey,
Sloppy
me-
Joe.
I ate a steak bomb.
Yeah, it is steak.
We don't even have them. Don't
Goes-
even have the steak
Hold
bomb.
on, you got the meat sweats.
Yeah,
The meat sweats. That's the tell.
You're gonna have to like roll the windows down, turn the heat up, turn the heat up in the car, and sweat it out.
Shave all over me. What are you trying to cover up? Don't worry. Instead of lipstick mark, it says
Yeah.
drape all over my collar.
Yeah, it's like
I always thought the meat sweats were a made-up thing until I
you've
went
experienced
to,
them.
What's
They're
that? What's the Brazilian steakhouse place?
Oh my god!
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
where you turn the thing over and
Yeah.
yeah.
They just keep bringing stuff.
We have one of those in Connecticut. I never got around to going to. I've always wanted to do that. They just keep on shaving the meat.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
turn the card over so they know not to bring shaved meat up to your.
Yeah, no mods.
Yeah.
I think the nearest thing to the meat sweats I ever got was I went to a barbecue at a friend's house like years ago, and I think I ate like 10 pounds of food,
Oh.
and I just like felt awful the next day, or most of that day, and then the next days I was like, why did I eat that many pulled pork sandwiches? But they were so good.
That'll
so.
ribs. That's instant meat sweat. Ribs.
Yeah.
Speaking of cheese
Venus
omelets,
Boys 3 in the chat said, so on Joey's side, a lot of meat-based food is all about the sauce and what gets added. So what's the big deal if it's a vegetarian-based? Because most of the flavor is in the sauce and crap. And I said, I mean, it makes sense. I said, I just like
got
to
a point.
I like to give Joey a hard time. That's all it comes down to.
But there is a thing. There is a thing. I mean, the more we get into fake food for vegetarians, the bigger strain it is on the planet too. Like, not to be Captain Power over here, but like
Captain Planet.
Captain Play. That's what I mean. Captain Power. Whole
Excuse
different
me,
story.
you're...
Yeah,
Captain Planet.
Actually,
Like, it's half of that stuff is just as bad. Like, you know, like the meat industry is terrible, but like you don't want to go down the route of always eating these processed vegetarian. So my wife's very good at keeping. She gives me the junk food that I have once in a while, and the pulled
Right.
pork sliders were very good. But allegedly, like, have you guys tried Beyond Burgers?
Yes,
Like
they're
Beyond-
very good.
I have not actually.
Like, it is, and I'm believe me, at my heart, I'm a beef boy. Like, you know, I used to love fillets. I worked at this beautiful Italian restaurant. I used to have Chateaubriand, the filet mignons, all that stuff. But the Beyond Burgers, they're wicked good. And I guess White Castle, I haven't tried it yet, but White Castle is doing White Castles with Beyond Meat. You can't not tell the difference.
You gotta find the White Castle that has the robot arms that make the burgers.
I heard about
And
this.
get the Beyond Burger from there. So then it was not made by a human and it has no meat in it. So it's like the fakest of fake burger.
Absolutely.
I haven't tried the Beyond Burger. I think because I eat garden burgers like almost every other
So
week.
you're a vegetarian too?
No, I eat actual burgers too.
The
my
garden
God.
burgers and the Beyond Burgers are very different. I love garden burgers too.
Yeah.
How is
Beyond-
this even a conversation right now?
For me, garden burgers are like
I'm staying out of it. I'm totally staying out of this.
so hear me out. Garden burgers are basically a variant on falafel.
Yeah, absolutely. Well put.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. Beyond Burgers is science fiction where they're trying to replicate meat as much as possible.
I wonder if
I mean, there's definitely human flesh in it.
Like when
oh yeah, I can mute him from my command center. And then me and Beef could just talk about
It's just
Corey Hart and whatever Canadians that pop up.
But that's the thing. Venus Boys 3 is correct. Beyond Burgers are like so close to meat. Like, if you are a vegetarian that's turned off to meat, don't go down Beyond Burgers.
Yeah, 'cause
Beyond
it
Burgers.
defeats the purpose.
Beyond Burgers is for the person that still wants the vampiric experience.
It's weird.
Have you ever drank blood?
He's not going to talk about that.
Anyone?
I mean,
I mean,
We're gonna talk about that.
His
Blood
emails,
sausage.
Lord Blood.
He didn't
He
say
thought,
no.
he thought it was his opening. He went for it.
I've had blood sausage a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to like try it if like actual blood, if you know it was properly
Absolutely not. No.
Why my family went away and I couldn't one year for Thanksgiving, so I went. My best friend was
This is
half.
the start of an interesting horror movie.
Yeah.
He's half Puerto Rican and half Mexican, and we went to his Puerto Rican grandparents' Thanksgiving, and they had blood sausage and stuff called pastele, which was really good, and beans and rice. And his grandfather had this stuff that he made in like one of those big like 5-gallon water, whatever they're called, jugs.
Yeah, like the Poland Spring, like the water
Yeah,
dispenser.
yeah, Poland
Yeah,
Spring,
yeah.
and it had like prunes and pineapples and shit floating around in it, and it was basically moonshine. And he gave us like a little like Dixie cup full of it or whatever.
Sounds really familiar.
We were like 16-year-old kids,
Yeah, sure.
and he was like, "Whatever you do, don't let my grandmother see you with a space on your plate, because she'll put more food." So you have to like, as you're eating, you have to like spread, like if you don't want any more, you have to like spread the food out so it covers the whole plate or whatever. And he was right. Like every time his grandmother saw I had a space in my plate, she's like, "Oh, you want more of this? You want more of this?"
That's good eating right there.
Good time, yeah.
Before. Oh man, we went down a dark trail all day.
Yeah, that's the problem with food.
Point being that blood sausage is pretty good.
So it always reminds like I like the Joey stories, like Baby Royale meeting Harryhausen
Yeah.
and Ray Bradbury, and like, excuse me, excuse me, gentlemen.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Hail and well met.
Greetings and salutations, gentlemen.
I gotta find. I told you my dad got me my parents for Christmas like put all the VHS on one of those zip drives.
Yeah.
I found it. It's it's small. It's in a little box. I found it in my drawer, and I'm gonna have to. We might have to have a special showing of the history of horror, which is a documentary I did in 8th grade in Cedar Grove Cemetery, exploring the from Nosferatu all the way up to I think I got to the early probably the 70s, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
and I
this
think
this exists as a something to be watched now.
Yeah, shot on a borrowed VHS camcorder, the big one. My father filmed it in the cemetery as I did a documentary, and there's some film scenes interspersed and some like a Halloween soundtrack in the background.
So why don't you upload it to YouTube?
I gotta find it. I gotta go through. I'm afraid to look at these damn videos.
Why?
The world needs this, Joey.
What?
Oh, we talked about it.
This.
Speaking of that, did you start My Retro Life?
Yes, I did.
Amazing, huh? Incredible.
That's the thing. I want to get all misty-eyed looking at all these old home. I haven't looked at those home videos in years, but I'll go through them and I'll post it. It's my history of horror documentary I did for a school project in 8th grade when I was about 4'3" and 16 pounds.
Okay. So we're gonna squash the rumors right now. How tall are you?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
Why?
No, because on I don't know if you watched the Wax Packs Massacre. I said you wear a medium shirt from Express, and like I don't even know what's like what I say, like 4 foot or something. Beef called me out in real life. He's like, "Man, why you gotta say like?"
Don't say the number. Just tell us. Are you Prince tall or?
Prince was tall though, wasn't he, or was he short?
What's the actor?
Super short.
Prince was very short.
Very short.
Yeah.
Oh, or Tom Cruise short.
Let's do a vote. Who do you think?
Okay, well, I got so I've been okay. So I explained to him. So you sent me the video of you on TV, right?
I did.
Yeah, you recently you're on the news.
Oh yeah.
So how they shot that, it makes it look like the student desk comes up to like your hip. So like at first I was like, all right, so like that's weird. But then you made a comment on an episode about shooting up to 6 foot.
Yeah. I'm 6 feet tall.
Okay, so you're normal size.
I'm lanky.
Okay,
I'm 6 feet tall, about 165 pounds.
Okay, perfect.
I'm like a walking skeleton.
I was backing you up, Joey. He was taking some cheap shots, and I shut it down pretty quick.
Yeah, but it's not cheap shots if I tell him I did it and it was live. He could have watched.
Thirdly.
That's funny. I got to go back and watch the news clip that I was in. They were filming it from weird angles.
It was a super weird angle, and it makes you look like really really short. Were you like
the guy? It wasn't even a camera. He had like a square thing, and he was holding it up above me, so it looked really weird.
Yeah.
What you want to do is film from the feet up, like the Andre shot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So no, I'm about 6 feet tall. I used to be very tiny. I'm about 6 feet tall. My wife is pretty tall too.
There you go. The rumors have squashed.
I was at a meeting the other day of for the first time in real life with a bunch of people, and I've been on Zooms with these people all year. All these are people I've never met in person before, and they all said that they thought I was a small person from the videos, from the Zooms I was on, and they were surprised that I was a tall person when they met me in
Normal
person.
size.
Yeah, that the child's desk was up to my waist.
I mean,
How you doing?
it's not cheap shots, Garrett. If I've admitted to him and I say it to his face. Nothing I've said I wouldn't say.
Oh, never miss a Wax Packs filming again.
Yeah, yeah. It was by myself. I don't even know. Like something was said in the comments, and I'm like, I don't know. He probably wears like a schmedium.
Oh, someone's saying no gamer wears smaller than a double XL or something.
Yeah, and I said no.
You couldn't help yourself. It was sitting right there.
I said, no, Joey definitely wears a schmedium.
A schmedium.
Yeah.
See, I guess I'm an outlier in all this. Like, maybe it's the fact that I'm also 6'1" and a relatively lanky guy. I just kind of assumed that you were also about 6'1" and lanky. So maybe it's just like we know.
You know, we vibe off each other.
Takes one to know one.
Exactly.
Brian and Garrett, you're about the same height, right? I saw in those videos.
Yeah, 6.
You're 6'2"?
I'm 6 feet. Yeah.
Because the pictures made it look like you guys were wrestlers. You guys looked about 6. You look like you were 6'7" in a warehouse. You look
we won the tag titles later that day.
You look like a tag team.
That means I'm the shortest out of all you guys.
You see, you look like a tall person to me.
John's about 6. I've met.
I'm 5'9".
I'm gonna end up meeting most of the Neon Maniacs in real life.
Is you're
Oh,
going
you come to
to
Philly.
be at PAX?
I've met John twice in real life. Yeah.
Okay. So when is PAX?
PAX, I believe, is December 5th
What's in September?
or December 5th or September. Is that Shirefest?
ShireCon. Yeah.
ShireCon.
That's in Connecticut. That's at the other side of the state. But I mean, Connecticut's like the size of a grape seed.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, shoot over there and meet Levi.
Yeah, I think I might hit up to ShireCon.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Is that what it sounds like?
No.
No.
Trust me, if it was all about Lord of the Rings, I would not be there. I hate Lord of the Rings.
No, this is like at a small like community center. It's starting to grow.
Like I said,
I tried to talk to Brian about Star Wars, and he wanted to fist fight me.
no, we talked about Star Wars. I was just tired of seeing. And I insulted a Tusken Raider. One walked by and went, and he like turned around and like dirty looked me. And I was like, oh, I must have said something about his mother. And I told the guy at work about it. He said, oh, you should have said like a bantha. Like a bantha. It's like, damn it, that was a missed opportunity.
Okay. The man says PAX Unplugged is December 2nd to the 4th.
Yep. That's
Wow.
the head librarian from Alexandria
Philly?
RPG. It's a weird time. Last time it was like the 15th ish. It's like early.
Is it in Boston?
It is in Philadelphia.
Oh, all right. Maybe we'll bring the family down.
Yeah, it's good. It was really nice. The hotel we stayed at was across the street from City Hall, and like it was like really foggy in the morning, and it looked like Batman Returns because they had like all the Christmas stuff up. It was like super foggy on our way in. It looked exactly like Gotham. Like I'll have to find the pictures. Like I was like, this is like Gotham City.
Awesome.
Brian, you're not a coffee drinker, right?
I dabble.
Okay.
If it's got caffeine in it, I drink it.
Yeah, there's a place in Philly that is it's a grindcore themed coffee.
You know, somebody was just telling me about this. I think it was you.
It might.
No, who was it? Somebody was literally just telling me about like a grindhouse themed restaurant
it's
coffee
called like the Grindhouse or something like that.
thing. Or like, yeah, somebody was just telling me about it.
And what is the Dunkin' drink?
the Monster Punch?
Monster Punch.
I get Monster and like some kind of like blue raz flavoring added.
Oh my god!
The Monster Punch.
Remember when Dunkin' Donuts used to have egg and cheese sandwiches that were like, they made the eggs? Like I remember as a kid getting an egg and cheese croissant from Dunkin' Donuts, and like the egg was off a griddle.
You just say croissant?
Yeah.
What? How would you say it?
Croissant.
La croissant.
At Dunkin' Donuts, it's a croissant.
Yeah, it's a croissant sandwich.
Croissant.
I think even in France, if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, it's a croissant.
Give me 100 chicken vaginas.
Actually, I do have a Paris hot dog story.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
It's one of the best hot dogs I've ever had. Was outside of the Louvre. There was like a little stand. It was like some kind of French like pastry. It wasn't a croissant or it wasn't like bread, but it was like they put the breading down and then a hot dog on top and then like cheese and then like put it in the oven for a minute, kind of like a little pizza, and then ate and then pull it out. It was really good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's good.
Like a hot dog crepe.
Yeah, a little thicker than a crepe.
Thicker than a crepe.
Thicker than a crepe.
Thicker than a crepe. I had a crepe business for a while. It didn't last too long. I think the crepist. I don't know what.
Low hanging fruit, and you have to pick it.
It's pronounced analrapist.
Yeah.
So what's a crepe then? How do you say crepe? Crepe.
I think crepe is a crepe.
I would say crepe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some good crepes with Nutella on it.
Sure.
That's good.
My sister makes a good crepe. She's got the griddle.
Yeah.
She does it on the holidays sometimes.
My brother makes a good head cheese.
Makes a good head cheese. I got a knife. Good. My sister makes a good crepe.
Classic
line. It might just be local legendary, but there's a pretty famous crepe place in Lancaster City called Rachel's.
Rachel's?
Rachel's. I'm not a huge crepe fan per se. So it was
you never crepe a crepe?
The crepe, so sometimes they're like stands everywhere. So we went to the Star Wars, it was like a Star Wars exhibit where they had like all the props from like the old movies and like concept art and everything, and it was like a exhibit, like a traveling exhibit, and it was like in the old Olympic parks in Munich, and we went there to do it, and there was like no food outside, and it was like one crepe stand, so there was like, well, I guess we're gonna have crepes.
That's actually the reason I can't do anchovies, is because my Japanese roommate in art school put them in spaghetti sauce.
That's disgusting.
Oh.
And it was like I ate it because it's either that or don't eat at the time. It was gross.
Yeah, that's a little intense. That's a little intense.
So what's everyone's Star Wars thoughts while we're on the subject?
So
go ahead, Tone.
Love it.
Yeah, I love Star Wars. Admittingly, a lot of it isn't great, but I'll watch it. I like it.
Where I stand, I'm an original trilogy fan.
Yeah, same here. I watched the original 3. I've seen them all, but when it comes to Star Wars, to me, it's the original 3. Because, and I'll tell you too, and you guys are all on the same age. Like Star Wars didn't exist after Return of the Jedi came out. Like, there's that gap that I think a lot of people forget about. As a kid, you had to dig for Star Wars. If you were a Star Wars fan, if you didn't, like, outside of the VHS, there was nothing. Once in a while, they show it on TV. The toy line.
I don't know if that's true. Is that true, Joey? I mean, I think I had a different experience with expanded universe novels and comic books and stuff.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So there's the literature end of things.
Well, plus
yeah.
you had Dark Forces computer game, Shadows of the Empire.
That's when things started to change. That's when, like, early 90s, that's when things started to come out again. I remember, like, the deluge hit when, like, I found a Star Wars Insider, fan magazine at the comic book store.
Power of the Force line.
But, there was, remember from when I was, like, I don't know, like, probably from, like, 86 to 90, there was, like, that time of, like, the void.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I'm thinking more in 90s and yes.
Yeah, like the re-release. So the re-release of the trilogy. So the first box, you had the Stormtrooper face, or was it Vader face on the first one? Vader face, Stormtrooper face, Yoda face. You know what I'm talking about? The iconic.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's like I feel like that's the
re-release of the VHS.
Yeah, when that re-release of those VHSs, like it was like probably the first time they started, like they didn't add anything yet, I don't think necessarily.
No, it didn't.
But it was
just
more...
a release, I think. And then the Micro Machines came out and they had all the play sets. That was like when they started to dip back in, and I thought I was in heaven.
I thought I had a billion of those things.
Yeah.
So the Man Geek's gonna jump in the chat and talk about, or jump on the stream and talk about Star Wars.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna grab him.
Right before that, let me put it this way.
Okay.
And I'm talking about just the films. I never really got past the films and the toys.
How do I do this? Okay.
I enjoy all the movies. I think all the movies are great, but the first three, the original trilogy, and only those three, and timing, whatever you want to attribute to it, those three movies shaped my being in a way that the other movies could never do.
Sure.
Like my ideas on like morality, and spirituality, and all that Discord stuff. As a young kid, like, Star Wars is where I got my religion from.
Yep.
Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we shall learn.
It's like the Joseph Campbell. It's the classic, story of the hero's journey.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. All right, so where the heck is,
like, those three movies really tap into that?
There we go.
Yep.
Got it.
And the rest is kind of just like expanding on the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
which is cool. Which is totally cool. It's just different.
The action figures are what made it big for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before he jumps on, Animaniac fans, yes or no?
I never watched much.
Yeah, I never really did.
No, I did all the time.
Vaguely. I watched it, but kind of in a like weird theta state, so I don't remember much of it.
It was like on after I got home from school.
Yeah, it's kind of like wallpaper for me.
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
I mean,
I probably watched dozens of hours of it, but it doesn't really stick with me. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
It doesn't stick. Doesn't stick, huh?
So.
Well, I got a couple words for you, Garrett.
Joey, if you graduated at 97, I'm guessing I'm the oldest.
Yes, you are. You are the oldest. Okay. I've been keeping track.
Okay.
He's got files on all of us.
Garrett, it goes.
Animaniacs was like just on the cusp of like me not being interested.
It goes United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Guyana, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Bolivia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil. That's pretty much as far as I go.
Welcome, Mandy.
No,
you are muted.
I see the mic. Yeah, the mic crossed out.
There we go.
I didn't connect my my headphones, so I am trying to fix that. But I can talk for is about the history of Star Wars.
Excellent.
And how the extended universe really became the extended universe.
Go for it, brother.
Do it.
So, when did Return of the Jedi come out?
83.
So shortly after Jedi, you get the Droids cartoon and the two Ewoks movies, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So by 1986, basically everything Star Wars is dead. And then a little game company out of New York called West End Games, named after the West End bar, that had made Ghostbusters, paid $750,000 for the license to get Star Wars, which was an insane amount of money for a license at the time, especially what was effectively a dead IP.
Yeah.
Lucas Arts basically said, don't use any characters from the films and don't go before New Hope. So they went through anything that wasn't named in the films, they named it. So you had like Hammerhead, the toy. Well, the team at West End Games went through, that was now an Ithorian, and that Ithorian had a name and a history and a background. They went scene by scene and named everything. So they started producing everything. In fact, if you've read the expanded universe stuff or Legends, there's a character that was kind of famous in the books called Jodocast, was fake Boba Fett. And there's a good story about Boba Fett going and hunting him down and killing him, taking the armor. Because the very first campaign that came out for the West End game Star Wars, they couldn't use Boba Fett under their agreement with LucasArts, and they made
Jodocast
as the stand-in Boba Fett.
Wow.
Perfect.
Cool.
And when Timothy Zahn sat down to write Heir to the Empire, they actually sent him all of the Star Wars role game books at the time.
Yes.
So that became canon?
Everything at that time, whatever West End game was writing, LucasArts said was canon.
Wow, really?
So all of the stuff that we honestly know and love today that was really came from the expanded universe, outside of the core original films, that was because of a role-playing game company out of New York.
Now, have you? I'm guessing that you played the West End version of the game.
I may or may not have many years invested in that game, and I may or may not run it consistently at conventions with the library.
So if you were to recommend the Star Wars RPG experience, you'd go with the West End?
Yes, because when they lost the license in '99, when Wizards of the Coast bought TSR, they snapped up the license to Star Wars. They put out D20 Star Wars, which was really clunky, and all the mechanics for Jedi powers were like psionics and really not good. Then a couple years later, they refined the rules and made Saga, and that was still a D20 based game that was made on rules for fantasy, high fantasy role playing. So D&D in space doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah.
Then you had the Fantasy Flight one, which is not bad, but it uses specialty dice and is annoying.
Yeah, it's a Fantasy Flight game.
West End is the D6 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Just six-sided dice, and the second edition of the Star Wars. So if you're looking for Fantasy Flight, re-released the original set for its 40th anniversary, which would have been the game's 30th anniversary, or it was a couple years ago. But the original just uses straight D6. The second edition and second edition revised. If you're looking for one, find second edition revised. Both of them, they have the exploding dice, which allows you for more cinematic gameplay. And the second edition revised has better space combat than second edition did.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
The West End supplement books were so awesome. Like, those were my car ride magazine equivalent. You know what I mean? Just hours. And read the same ones over and over again because they were so well done and they were so rich. Like, just there was so much detail put into them of things that were not even in the movie.
Absolutely.
Just hinted at in the movies, just the tiniest little thing. And you're talking about criminal empires and like, people are talking about Inquisitors and stuff right now because of the Kenobi series and the Rebel series. Like, the Inquisitors are like a major thing. The Inquisitorius, has its origins in the West End time, right, when they were making those books. So
Yeah.
super awesome stuff.
You guys,
Yeah. So, I mean, go ahead.
tell everybody about the library when you.
Oh, so yeah, if nobody knows, I'm the chief librarian for Alexandria RPG. I'm not really a librarian. I just LARP at one events and play one online. So we're a nonprofit role-playing game library that we now have roughly 6,000 books in the library. We go to events throughout North America sharing the history of role-playing games. Then we bring GMs to play games and get people introduced into role-playing games. And then we also talk to people about how they can use role-playing games to work with at-risk teens and veterans with PTSD.
That is awesome. Very, very well done, man. Where are you located?
The library is located in Tacoma, Washington, just south of Seattle, just north of Joint Base Lewis-McChord, Fort Lewis and McChord Air Force Base.
Because I'm looking at your window and it looks like it's light outside there.
Yeah, it's
Creep. Creepo from the depot over here.
Yeah, it's at 7:30. Normally I'd be in my basement, but I'm doing military stuff, so Washington after because I'm in the National Guard is sponsoring the SummerCon event. So it's a nerd pop culture comic convention not too far from my house. And so they brought out, Black Hawks and artillery and strikers, and I'm getting paid to run around and take pictures of all that.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool. The library sounds like an awesome.
Yeah,
it
is awesome.
Didn't you say sometimes you go into like prisons and introduce inmates?
I've been trying to get into prisons. Prisons are much harder to get into than people think, especially with games. So in 2019, I left for Iraq and Syria. Then 2020 happened. 2021, I was in Ukraine. So some of the stuff I was doing with trying to get into prisons has been put on hold.
Yeah.
So next year, I'm going to try to pick that stuff back up. But we are a 501c3. So if anybody would like to find a way to help us, it costs a lot of money to run the library.
That's great to know. And is it like what I read too? Once I was looking up about role playing games in prisons too. They try to keep dice out of the clink, right?
Yeah. So every prison, I reached out to about 15 different prisons to kind of get a list of objections.
Yeah.
Almost all of them is no dice. Most are no hardback books. Can't have pictures because they don't want you bringing games in with like naked women in them and stuff like that. Many of them, you can't have a GM running a game. So because then a prisoner has power over other prisoners.
Oh, wow.
Some don't like the idea that it's a game. So you've got to come in and say, hey, because I've done I've talked with a lot of psychiatrists and psychologists about how to what can we do to help rehabilitate prisoners through games? So that's part of our long-term process with that. And we've been doing some of that with at-risk teens. So you get what are we really bad at teaching kids in schools nowadays? Teamwork, communication, critical thinking, problem solving. What do you do in a role-playing game? All of that.
Yep. Executive function skills.
Yeah. So it's really frustrating to, look at schools and just like, oh man, you're really bad at teaching kids stuff, and go, hey, you know what? I can actually teach kids these things through games so they don't realize that they're learning things. I see the Dungeon Crawl Classic stuff on the wall. That's nice.
Thanks. And I run role playing games at the school I work at. So it's
nice.
It's work. Yeah.
We're
awesome.
actually getting ready to start a DCC campaign on Wednesdays on our Twitch channel. So twitch.tv/AlexanderRPG.
All right. So
let's see if I can. I want to see if I can put it in the chat because that's what people do.
You're officially on the episode now. So do you have a movie and a meal?
Oh yeah,
movie and a meal.
Movie and a meal. Now you're screwed.
So what are the left and right limits on?
There are none.
None.
So Honestly, what I've been craving is German Jaeger schnitzel with some grilled sauerkraut and bacon in it.
I support that entirely.
Jaeger schnitzel
and then
is. What the heck happened?
Jaeger schnitzel is massively underrated.
Yeah, it's like a. What was that noise?
No idea. Not me.
Oh, it was me.
And then meal. That was meal. Movie. What movie? I've been craving a couple movies lately. Geez.
Well, Jaeger schnitzel is the mushroom sauce, I believe.
Yes. It's the mushroom sauce. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Movie.
I gotta write that down. Jaeger.
Yeah, Hunter
Yeah.
Hunter
Wait,
schnitzel.
You
Jaeger
had me
is
at
German
fried
for
sourdough,
hunter.
if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah. If you've not had, most people in the U.S. just have had sauerkraut like dumped cold onto a sausage, and you're like, yay. Yeah, you got to prep it, and you pan fry it with a little with some diced up bacon in it. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, I'm into that.
And then I'm trying to think movie.
We used to go to this place that they do spatzel with bacon in it with the cheese on top, and it was like insane.
Yeah, spatzel is usually most schnitzel I get has spatzel on the side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like the palms on the side though. I'm a palms guy. Pommes.
Yeah. German food is massively underrated.
Oh, and then you got donors too.
So movie, I'm gonna go with just because I haven't watched it in a while, and I really want to watch it. Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
No, Super Troopers.
Oh,
the
Super
Broken
Troopers.
Lizard.
You were breaking up, so I just heard.
Fucking with me now?
I just automatically assumed the caliber of this show. We would have went with Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers is next after Super Troopers. So if I was to throw a movie night on tonight, it'd be Super Troopers into Starship Troopers, and then probably into like the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Nice.
Is there a sequel to Super Troopers now?
Yes, there is.
Yes, it was actually pretty good too, because they referenced a lot of moments, but they didn't recycle jokes.
That's good. I mean, they're pretty funny. Like Beer Fest is hilarious. Like, I mean, Club Dread is like, eh.
I love Club Dread just because I hate slasher flicks, and it was great that they really mocked slasher flicks. And so the guy that plays Rabbit, that man only has one leg, which I find hilarious that they named his character Rabbit.
That's funny.
And then in Super Troopers, in Club Dread, he plays the bad guy who is the only man that wears pants in the entire movie, and it hides his fake leg. And then he loses his right leg to the boat in the end of the movie.
Oh man,
that's funny.
So they have made all kinds of jokes about this dude having one leg without ever addressing that the guy only has one leg.
Yeah.
Man Geek, what is your number one Kenner Star Wars action figure?
It'd be the one that my brother had and sadly gave away because we were living in California at the time, and they came to his school and they gave out some prototype Star Wars figures, and he got one of the missile shooting Boba Fett's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember hearing about like that story.
I love people telling me, "Oh no, that's a myth. Those never existed." It was like, "F you, I played with one when I was a kid."
No,
but
they definitely existed. They're just
Yeah. They never made it to packaging because when they handed them out to kids to play with, the kids either choked on the missile or lost them.
It was the Battlestar Galactica missile crisis is what scared him into not doing it.
Kid choked to death, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
See, another reason why not to watch Battlestar Galactica.
Kid died.
I couldn't watch the new Battlestar just because the entire thing's just shaky cam and makes me I've listened to it. It sounds good, but it's just nauseating to watch.
So they re-released the West End Games Star Wars, right?
So they re-released the first edition. That one doesn't have all the best rules.
Okay.
But the really cool thing is when West End died in 1998, another company bought them and tried to release a bunch of stuff, and they released the Open D6. So like anybody can make a D20 RPG because they got the Open D20 license. There's an Open D6. You can look up the Open D6. I think it's opend6.org if I recall, and anybody can make a role-playing game based on those D6 rules.
Very cool. I want to check that out.
And on Drive-Thru RPG, you've got fantasy, modern, and sci-fi D6 rules based on or from those rule set that are available for free download.
Oh, okay, cool. That's where I'll start. That's awesome. I like D6 rules these days. I've been looking into them.
So
they're really simple. And they're really simple. And because it's just six-sided dice, you can get anybody involved. It's not that hard. Everybody understands a six-sided dice.
Most people have them laying around. Jared, what were you saying?
I was going to ask what your take on the movies are, on the film.
Absolutely love episode 4, 5, and 6, mostly because people were there to keep Lucas in control, and you had people like Harrison Ford and Alec Guinness that were rewriting their lines to be better. Episode 1, 2, and 3, if I had the power, I'd reshoot those, where it would be Obi-Wan's story, and Anakin would be the behind-the-scenes protagonist, kind of the way Vader is in episode 4, 5, and 6. And then episode 7, 8, and 9, I would just label those as alternate universe and reshoot those based upon the Legend novels.
That's pretty much what Garrett said at the last week.
Yeah.
And then I brought up.
It's funny though, because like when I watched 1, 2, 3, I was really disappointed, as many people were. But watching those films, which I have in the last couple of years, I can see I get some enjoyment there. It's not, I mean, they don't even approach 4, 5, 6.
No.
There's some stuff there that works. It's just not, they're not special films. They're just,
There's three problems with episode 1, 2, and 3. Lucas had total control, and he's a bad writer.
Mm-hmm.
You had bad actors in certain parts, and too much CG special effects that actors struggled because it was like most of the actors hadn't had to act around a green ball going, yes, that's a monster, be scared of it. And the CG never held up. So I mean, like in episode 3, I say Lucas was writing for the blind, because you see Anakin pull up, it's a wide shot, Anakin pulls up, Padme runs out, and then you cut to a close-up and Padme goes, I saw you pull up and I had to come out and see you. I was like, you just showed that on screen.
Oh, man.
The character doesn't have to say that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there was a lot of that. And then like he picked Hayden Christensen because he said he and Natalie Portman looked good together in stills, which may be true, but they had zero chemistry.
Yeah, there was.
I totally agree with that.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Yeah. Oh. And, you know, in episode 7, 8, and 9, Jar Jar Abrams is a big problem because he is setting things up with his... Oh, you've never heard him called that? I've been calling him that. So before episode 7 came out, I was like, hey, if JJ does good, he stays JJ Abrams. But as soon as I was like, I don't like this, I'm just going to call him Jar Jar. I walked out of that. I uploaded a 20-minute rant onto my YouTube channel about like the day that we released. And people were like, man, you were angry. I was like, yeah, it was bad. Like they just missed so many. Perfect example of modern movies versus classic movies. In episode 4, you have Luke looking off into the two suns and the music comes up, and then so it's off over his right shoulder. Yeah, so the slow music is coming up, and then the camera comes around to the front, and the suns are setting on his face, and you sit there and you look at his face as the music swells, and you connect with the character, and you can look at his face and go, this is a man that wants away from this life.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't go to Tashi Station with his friends for power converters.
Yeah. So the same exact scene in episode 7
He should have got his
is
chores
Ray.
done.
Yeah.
Well,
Should have just
he
went to
didn't have his chores done.
newegg.com.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and then like chores and stuff. That was things that people sitting their butts in the seat could relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in episode 7, Ray's totally on her own. She's like doing parkour through ships and stuff. You're like, okay, this character's cool. And then her I want to leave the planet scene is she picks up the helmet out of the sand, then puts it on, and immediately she puts something over her face and immediately disconnects the character from the audience. Then you hear the ship take off, and then she looks at it, and then you follow the ship up. You're no longer connected to that character at all. Yeah, you're kind of saying the same thing, but you're not connecting the audience to the character, which is a huge problem with. That was the biggest problem with Rogue One. Does anybody care about any of the characters except for the droid in that movie?
No, plus the fact that you know that they're all gonna die because it's literally like a prequel. It's like a movie was made for a throwaway line. They're like, oh, what happened to the people that got these?
Go back and watch Saving Private Ryan. You know those characters are going to die, and every time a character dies, you're like, oh God, especially Tom Hanks. He's and then at the end you got the old guy who looks and says, "Tell me I'm a good man. Tell me I've led a good life." F you, I will cry at that. I'm a 44-year-old man who has seen combat and been nearly killed a dozen times. And F you, I will cry at that because that movie, that shot, that scene, the way that man delivered that moment will just rip your heart out. I wasn't asking for Rogue One to be at the same level as Saving Private Ryan, but it could have been, somewhere, in the same planet. And a lot of that was just bad editing because in Rogue One at the beginning, when the bad guys are coming to take Dad away. So he's hugging Jen, and they just keep flipping back and forth between his face and her face. Do that scene where he's hugging her. You stay on her face, and he's telling her everything he's got to say, and he's going to go away, and he wants her to be blah, 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 be this awesome person, and watch the emotion and tears swell up. You've now connected to that character. You have a connection and invested interest for this character in this story. But they didn't do that. They just bounced back and forth between the two. And you don't care. You're at no moment did you connect to the character. That's bad editing, bad shooting, and bad storytelling.
I mean, but they paid for Mads Mikkelsen, so they gotta show his face.
Yeah, but I mean, was he that much at that point?
I think he was just starting to blow up.
Yeah, and you can have great actors in bit parts and do amazing things. You just have to know how to make the people in the seats connect with characters. Luke complaining about doing chores, everybody understood that at the time. Modern kids may not understand chores, but and then that moment where just the music swelling and Luke staring off into the sunset, every adult sitting in those seats knew exactly the feeling that man had watching those sunset. Yeah. And we can hear the music, and we know the feeling because we connected with that character.
Yeah,
and that was also a problem with 1, 2, and 3. They didn't have those character connecting moments either.
Quick thoughts on Star Wars Rebels.
I haven't really watched Star Wars Rebels because I don't like to give Disney money.
Okay.
I liked it. I
Fair
really
enough.
like that series a lot. I know there's an aversion to CG in this space, but it's they cover a lot of interesting ground. I like Thrawn's portrayal in that show. I think they did a really good job of taking a character of that import and putting a lot of cool factor and life into him, and it translates well.
Kept him in
Dave
it.
Filoni loves Star Wars, and you can tell that because he's been the driving force behind most of the cartoons. Everybody tries to give credit to Jon Favreau, but it's absolutely Filoni that is the one that's been the driving force behind the good parts of new Star Wars.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not averse to CG.
I
I
am.
just think it's overused a lot of times.
It has its place.
Yeah.
I was on the when did I come on the library? A couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, someone in the chat asked me like, what like piece of media in the last year has like influenced me, and I said, my chunk of media that I consume is like 68 to 2002. Like, I don't like watch much like modern stuff. You gotta like Stranger Things. Like since then, I've watched Stranger Things, and that like has been pretty awesome. Like, but that's like realistically, I don't like anything modern, and I think a lot of it has to do with they just don't care about the audience anymore.
Yeah. I couldn't. It sounds bad, but I couldn't watch Stranger Things because the kid with a lisp. I had so much trouble understanding him because I have got hearing from being blown up a few times, and I like, hey, there's an entire character that I don't know what he's saying or how he's reacting. I was like, I'm missing an entire portion of the show.
Yeah, yeah. I watch everything with subtitles because my kids always talk to me through everything, so I just always have subtitles on.
Too. I always have to have the closed captioning on all the time now.
Yeah, always. It helps too, though, like with like watching like the lips and stuff. It's like,
I
man.
want to check out Bad Ben. I started that last night and fell asleep. Have you guys seen the previews for that?
I've seen like the ads here and there, like, but I haven't watched much about it.
Looks pretty cool.
It's like
newer stuff that I've watched that I liked has been a couple years ago. Upgrade, loved that movie. I will absolutely suggest that one to everyone. And I love the ending because it's not the stereotypical American movie ending. And last year, the movie Nobody came out.
Nobody.
Okay. So the writer and producer of John Wick. So it's very much a John Wick movie, but instead of being a former, Russian mafia assassin, he's a like a former, CIA that
it's
retired
Odenkirk, Bill Odenkirk, right?
Yeah. Bob Odenkirk.
Or Bob.
Better
Odenkirk,
Call Saul.
Yeah.
He nails it.
Yeah. I heard it was pretty good.
I enjoyed it because it's easier to connect with the character of Nobody, and the fight scenes. They're like with like the John Wick stuff. The fight scenes are awesome, but they're so clean. You can tell they're super choreographed. Where the fight scenes in Nobody, like, they're brutal. Like, Bob Odenkirk gets beat up. I mean, gets shanked, and just like he's hurting. And they did actually a lot of really cool stuff because there's a lot of little like really nerdy, dirty fighting techniques that if you've never been in like a bunch of street fights or you haven't been trained in like dirty fighting, you'd be like, why is he doing that? And then somebody that's been in street fights like, oh no, I know why he's doing that. Like,
I had an ex-Army Ranger supposedly give me the very, very tip of the iceberg basics of knife fighting. And the first rule of knife fighting is don't.
Absolutely. That is the best rule of knife fighting.
Another piece of media is the Turtles Shredder's Revenge game came out on Thursday.
Oh, shit.
Let's talk about that for a minute, gentlemen.
I'm playing right now.
Tearing through.
I'm meeting Kevin Eastman tomorrow.
I hate you.
Wow.
I'm taking a bunch of soldiers to go get pictures at the Turtle Van as well.
I need something signed, but I don't. Killing me.
I'm gonna try to run over and pick up a copy of the
Last
old
Ronin?
Palladium.
Yeah.
No, the old Palladium Turtles RPG.
I just got another one. I got one of the the Mutants in Space supplement in the mail today.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that game.
I think I have every Turtles game that Palladium put out in the 80s. Yeah, I got time. Storage unit closes. Well, it opens early enough. I can go there early in the morning and pick them up. Because if I can get over there before the crowds get in and say, "Hey, can you sign these for my nonprofit?"
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome.
But yeah,
I should take my
Shredder's Revenge.
yeah.
I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. I don't know about You blew through it pretty fast.
Yeah, it took me like 2.5 hours, I think. It's like 16 levels. It's like easy as peasy. I got it on the medium setting.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I was wondering if you were going medium or the easy.
No, I never will go easy on a game. Never pick the easy.
Yeah, I'm the same
I got-
way. But
Huh?
I do.
No, I can't do it. It's good. It's good.
It feels so good. Like I haven't played it much, but the whole feel is perfect to me.
Yeah.
Like it's been recreated and improved upon, I would say.
Yeah, it's like a 90s beat 'em up with like modern sensibilities in games. So it definitely like they need to make more beat 'em ups like that. That's my favorite genre of video game. I could definitely use more. Shredder's Revenge is awesome. There's just Mondo Gecko does not show up. Spoiler alert. So I was very upset. But other than that, it's good.
Could be some DLC. You never know.
So supposedly they said no DLC for it, but money talks. Like this game is like.
It's going to be huge for them. They're gonna. This thing is.
If it sells well enough, there will be DLC.
Oh, it's already sold well enough. Like I'm in like 3 Ninja Turtles fan groups on Facebook, and they're all like going insane over this game.
Yeah.
And Casey Jones, like when you unlock him, he's so OP. He's like insane in the game too. It's awesome. But I would love a Mondo.
I don't need to buy any more games. I don't play the ones I have now.
Yeah, but this is easy enough. So it's got
very light,
and then like the story mode's got an overworld map. So then like you can go back and play different levels, and then you just beat a level, and then you're done. You put it down. You don't have to like sit and like the arcade mode. Yeah, you gotta grind through the levels, but story mode, it's easy.
Reminds me, I've got an X-Men arcade cabinet. I gotta fire up. It's been a couple years since it's been turned on.
Yeah, I would definitely do that because that game is awesome. Is it the six player or 4 player?
No, I only have the 2-player one. I got it for $100 a couple years ago. Yeah, and
the Atom.
Getting a what?
Sweet.
The Children of the Atom.
It's the side scroll.
Yeah, it's the
one that the Dick Dix player
where
version.
Colossus, you do his mutant power, goes. You could hear that thing from across the arcade every time Colossus would go. You knew You knew there was an X-Men cab in there somewhere. And they always had it on max volume. It was so freaking loud.
That's the only reason I play Colossus in the game because I preferred Cyclops, but listen to Colossus's powers, mutant powers, awesome.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's like the gold tier. You got Turtles in Time, X-Men Arcade, Simpsons Arcade. Those were like the 3 like trinity of beat 'em ups in the 90s.
Yep.
So before I started the library, I used to do I was like management and stuff at conventions, and we've got a convention here that I helped manage stuff at. It's the Northwest Pinball and Arcade Show. So 3 days.
Sweet.
You pay like $100 to get in, and it's like 300 and something odd games all on free play.
That's awesome.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
Very cool.
that was it's mind-boggling fun. I'm actually trying to get, so they only rent half the convention center in the town I'm in, and the other half is open. So what I'm trying to do is convince some people to start like a pop culture comic tabletop gaming convention to take up the other side, and then we do a joint ticket so people can buy a ticket of one or the other or both. That way when people come in, they're like, oh, what's going on next door? And then we get cross traffic.
Boom, sell them a book.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you want to get away from the noise for a bit? Come on over to the gaming and comic book side and spend some money. Oh, you want to go play video games? Go right ahead. Go buy a ticket and jump into the video game side.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
hell yeah.
So, but I don't want to run it because I don't have that kind of time in my life.
Yeah, understandable.
I
Yeah,
already do way too many events with the library.
but if
We're going to be at like 13 events this year.
Holy cow.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. But
a busy schedule.
Again, that's why I tell everybody, like, I used for years, I was like the thing as a nonprofit, we're always begging for books, time, and money. And books have been killing it. So we've got over 6,000 books in the library. In fact, today I was at an event, not at there as my nonprofit, and somebody recognized me and donated a role-playing game book today.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm running around with a role-playing game book, a small one in my pocket.
Are your
And
events,
then go ahead.
are they spaced out? So it's like one a month, or?
Oh, August is going to be horrible because August we have Gen Con, which will be there. That'll be an entire week of my life. I'll get back from Gen Con, and then we've got like a week off. Then we do Dragonflight, which is a small local convention. Then we have Emerald City Comic Con, which is 100,000 people, 4-day event. Then the following weekend we have PAX West, which is also 100,000 people, 4-day event. So
Wow.
August into early September is just going to be ugly as hell.
Are you coming to PAX Unplugged? You gonna try to make it?
Yes, I'll be at PAX Unplugged.
Hell yeah.
That's
And,
The East Coast one?
Yeah.
Yeah, PAX Unplugged is in Philly. And maybe next year we might get to PAX East, which is in Boston.
Okay.
And then
That Philly
we're
one's
being asked
attractive.
if we-
I might try that out.
Yeah, and we've been asked. We may be in the next couple of years trying to get into C2, E2 in Chicago and New York City Comic Con.
Cool. Very cool.
Very
Busy
dope.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to
Excellent.
retire and just figure out a way to do this full time.
Tell me about it. Brian and I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the library each year has cost me a few $1,000s out of pocket. My savings account is tapped out, so we've been hitting up gaming companies. We've got a couple sponsors that are helping us get to Gen Con this year. Then we're trying to sell sponsorships for Emerald City and PAX West and PAX Unplugged, so that people can be associated with the idea of preserving role-playing games and sharing them, so that we can continue to do what we do. And like getting to Emerald City, I mean, getting from where we are to Gen Con is going to cost us like $8,000.
Wow. That's where those sponsorships really come in.
Yeah. So we are, this year we're a little more desperate for cash than we have been, just because, like I said, I've tapped my savings for the last 5 years. I probably should have done work on my house.
Well, it was nice to meet you. I got to jump in a minute, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna call it. We're at our
We're hitting
3
the
hour.
3 hour mark.
Yeah, we got
You got an episode of Trailer Park Boys you got to watch before bed, Joey.
I'm gonna try with the closed caption, but that's the thing. It's like everybody's asleep, so I got to put the closed captioning on. I kind of want to get the full effect.
Oh,
so,
you got to wear headphones or something because you need the full effect.
Yeah.
so maybe I'll try.
Trailer
tomorrow.
Park Boys is not a subtitled thing.
Right, I didn't
Well,
think so.
You do need a dictionary to understand a lot of the weird Canadian slang, but I married a Canadian, so I get it.
Very nice. I'll tap into Garrett if I have questions.
Yeah,
I had to
our
import a
local
wife.
Canadian. Garrett's our local Canadian. He's our translator.
Oh, how much snow's there, eh?
I just want to
There's
say
like
for
three-
any viewers, if you have any questions at all about your neighbor to the north, just send me a messenger on Facebook. I'll answer whatever question. I does it all the time.
The Canadians are lying if they tell you it's not snowing, because there's 3 foot of snow at the border all year round.
Yeah, totally. So, but yeah, so Joey, so real quick before we leave, we have a Wax Packs Monday, right?
Yes, we do.
Yep, and I got a special Vienna beef package. We're gonna.
I can't wait. That's going to be in the spotlight. I'm looking to see what's in there.
Oh, and I'll get you off. I found another. You ever heard of Bathroom Buddies?
No, I have not.
Yeah, there's some cards I found. I got some Bathroom Buddy packs. They're en route, but we're gonna open those.
I am interested. Sounds good.
All right, so with that,
Tangent waiting to happen.
yeah, I know. That's why I had to tell them real quick. But thanks for everybody for coming. This is episode 10, the season finale of Ravioli for Randy. We'll be back for season 2 with, I don't even know what we're gonna do yet, Joey. We're gonna have to find out.
I think wrestling's in our future.
Yeah, wrestling episode for sure.
Very good.
So with that being said, I'll say goodnight for everybody. So Yep. Peace out. Thanks.
Happy
See you guys
See you
later.
guys.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have
in
a
June.
good night. Happy Father's Day to all the
Oh,
fathers
yeah.
out
Happy
there.
Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
All
See
right.
you, dudes.
See ya.